what you gonna do the next if you take it live.
You got me singing in my head when I finally go on my live stream. Yeah. Sorry about that, guys. Major technical difficulties. And the cats and all the dogs are running around. They're like, wow! Why is she singing all of a sudden? Okay, wow. See, this is where it starts. Authenticity, real talk, uncomfortability, and growth. Shit's starting to get uncomfortable. You just gotta feel it. Start to feel it. You're upset with somebody. Oh, you better feel it. Stop trying to squish that shit down. Stop saying things aren't the way they are. Stop. Woo-hoo-hoo. All right, anywho. Okay, on the first note, I'm very excited about this episode because this is SPTV, and what better way to be on SPTV other than our 100% full authentic self babies. And also, I feel like part of that is being on SPTV in situations where there are situations growing out of the Scientology planet of the planet world of Scientology, where you start to catch yourself acting certain ways or certain things triggering you when they come up in certain ways. And I'm catching myself on a daily basis going like, whoa, I normally would have reacted to this completely insanely different. Or now I'm catching myself, I feel like I'm catching myself, look at myself, not like when I respond in a certain way and I don't like how I responded. That's an uncomfortable thing to look at in oneself. Like, oh, I responded really shitty. I shouldn't have done that. Or I could have done that better. Or why did I? I didn't mean to respond that. It just came out. You know what I mean? Anyway, so I want to talk real talk, authenticity, rawness, and who else better to do that than with other fellow SPTV cutie pie babies. So here we are. I have to you Dylan Gill, who also goes as Blow Drill on Instagram. We've got Louis Repeto. Is that how you would say that? And we have Liz Ferris, the one and only. I almost said Liz Gill. Liz Ferris. Hi, sweethearts. Literally. Hi, sweethearts. All three of you. I guess all four of us. Wow. Hi, welcome. Thank you guys for being on the Lara FM TV channel.
Yeah.
Always. It's like,
Come on, give us some horns, Dylan.
Yeah, like this.
Liz, somebody's got to screenshot this, guys. You haven't figured this out. Go.
Right.
Dylan, we're not
process church, right? Or whatever.
Dylan, you need to get your horns in the camera.
I'm sorry. I'm a rookie. Again, I don't know what I'm doing.
Then pay attention. Again, 1, 2, 3, go.
Are my arms supposed
Dylan, we're not stopping until you do it right. I'm so sick of this out ethics. Okay, good job. Now I look like I was like, go do it, Dylan.
God,
okay, good job.
You can cut paste it.
Just forcing me to be, not me.
Yeah, I think that's Dylan resenting, like, oh no, somebody's telling me what to do. Not gonna do it.
I'm a resistor.
Yeah, I am too. That's another thing I was noticing about myself. Like, yeah, there's certain things I will not stop resisting. And then there's certain things that I'm like, maybe I could look into that one.
I'm a member of the non-conformists.
I thought you were going to say the non-confrontist.
No.
Okay,
I think we're all a little bit of non-conformists. Let's be real.
Absolutely. I think everyone in the Sea Org is.
Well, I feel for sure, for me personally, it's like, why would you conform yourself into anything after leaving Scientology and the Sea Org? Like, I think that's my personal thing. What is your guys's of not conforming? Or like, even as a pop singer or whatever, or rock singer, people constantly, oh, she's a pop singer. Oh, she's this. I'm like, I'm fucking everything singing. Like for reals. Like I want to do everything. I'm not the best at all of those. I'm not trying to be. I am though a singer in all departments. Go screw yourself. So anyways, yeah, compartmentalizing is very weird for me. And especially because I guess it was forced on us pretty much our whole lives. Key parts of growing up. Okay, go ahead.
Nonconformist. When I was in the Sea Org, I thought I was a nonconformist. That's what LRH said. But really, I was just conforming
Wait,
his
but
identity.
you didn't. But did you know what a conformist was in the Sea Org?
A conformist was someone that followed.
But were you that intelligent in the Sea Org, I guess is what I'm asking. How did you know about this conformist? Like I feel like in the Sea Org, if I knew what a conformist was, I'd be like, oh, we're conforming to be a Sea Org member. So then I would be like, this doesn't seem right. But like words weren't explained to us as children like that. Like never. We were never allowed to even know what infinity meant in its real words, So yeah, I was like, how did he know what conformist was in the Sea Org?
Oh, me personally? Because I don't know. I just
Did you go to the
that's a
cadet
really
org or
good
were you in
point.
the outside? No, I'm just one. I really am asking a really good, like
I
I'm
listened to a lot of lectures about this subject on the Sales Special Briefing course when I did that. And when he's talking a lot about the conformists.
So he really was.
Implants. Yeah, this is a implant term.
Wow.
So if a nonconformist is someone that is releasing the people from these implanting procedures all around the universe, so not conforming.
Wow. It reminded me of Valerie Haney's story when one of her kind of like cogwheel turning moments of trying to leave was going to this like video shoot set or something, and where they were trying to make a film about how like they brainwash people, so to speak. And as they were doing it in the film, she was kind of thinking like, oh, the Sea Org is like this is how the Sea Org is. And so I was wondering, oh, how did you know that word? Maybe you like learned it later on, or yeah.
I see what you're
I was
saying.
like, did that help you conform your new identity of wanting to leave and be the person you are today? But no, I guess not. Right? That's cool. So you already knew the word through L. Ron Hubbard lectures of his own brainwashing. That's
I used to show people that reference all the time. It's on a level 2. There's some lectures that talk about the nonconformists. It's called Levels of Auditing, and it's from a briefing course lecture. But I know that this all like boring. Sorry.
No.
Nothing's boring. Nothing is boring.
Okay.
First of all, can I call you Louie? Is that okay? I don't know why I want to call you Louie. Is that normal to call you Louie?
Absolutely, yeah.
Okay, cool. Okay, so Louie, you're not boring at all, and I thought my question was starting to get a little dumb and repetitive because of the conforming, but I'm like, what a this is about us, SPTV children, people who were born and raised in the Sea Org and Scientology. So these questions may sound like not that interesting, or our insecure fears that we're controlled all the time when we're trying to just answer a question as it is. We're feeling like, oh, wait, I don't know. Is that weird? Is that, or we're just realizing, oh yeah, I guess that is a good question. Cause you know what I mean? So, and for other people, us explaining this stuff becomes the interest of the people listening because they're literally learning what we've been completely normalized our whole lives. Like everything about us was completely normalized. And to other people, we're just sharing this story. So that is a very good answer. Where you got that from and the briefing course, I didn't know that at all. That is so cool. And a little chunk of information that I needed.
The level 2. So that nonconformist is from the level 2 lectures, which level 2 is all about how to do confessionals. That's when you first learn how to do it. Now, all those tapes are from level G of the Sales Special Briefing course, which is it's 84 lectures about how withholds work, and as far as the Gold's problem, mass implants, etc. And then these nonconformists and then people that are conforming. And that's when he talks about the 5 different types of people that were imprisoned on this planet. And then the
Do you know
nonconform.
about
That's
these,
what I
Dylan?
know.
Have you heard about this, Dylan? Liz, you guys know about this?
I did not.
I didn't do the briefing course.
This is see, Louis, this is so important. Are you not kind of shocked am I just being weird, Dylan? Or are you, isn't that kind of crazy that L. Ron Hubbard was like, oh, the conformists, like talking about something else other than what he is doing? Like, that's just so crazy to me. I think that's great. And they're training
that's
people.
true. I didn't
Like
think about that.
this is how they're brainwashing people. This is how they make it okay for you to eventually listen to the end phenomena of OT3 and be like, wow, that makes sense.
That makes total sense that there's a Xenu.
The wall of fire. Yeah. So this is great. This is great. I think what you just said is awesome. Continue. Sorry. So if you want to, I don't know if you're finished.
So that level 2 is the, it's the crux of, the abuse. It's like the withholds, like the pulling,
the basics,
of the withholds. Right? Yeah.
This is where you're basically learning to be a really thick, strong interrogator. The beginnings of it.
Understand why, though. He's explaining why you're doing this, and he's making it so understood to me that why I'm doing these withhold pulling, and when it's really I don't know what I was doing exactly, but it's definitely some kind of abuse.
Yeah. I love that you just said that. It's 100% some kind of abuse, hypnotic, black magic, spiritual, psychological. They literally, L. Ron Hubbard stole all the ways to literally abuse the mind so that it can be controlled.
Boom.
Yeah.
Bam.
Where's the mic?
Boom. Dylan, what do you think about I was gonna say something funny, but I'm not gonna do that.
Do it.
So what you guys?
What do you think about the whole track?
Yes, my file clerk. Let me see.
Recall a time you were Dylan in another lifetime.
Now go back to the beginning of that incident.
Recall the moment. What was the smell? What was the smell? Hi guys, y'all. I just want to say hi to everybody in the chat. We are here. We love you. I appreciate you all. Leave your questions, your comments, and everything, and we'll jump to them in a little bit. And as we do, as things get exciting. But we're gonna keep chatting about authenticity and real talk and uncomfortable and growth. And I like those trees behind you, Louis. It reminds us of what we're doing, the growth and all that. Okay, Dylan. Sorry. Go ahead.
No, I was just saying PTS for Life made a comment about how the State of Man lectures are pretty crazy. There's definitely a lot of out there.
Oh, yeah. Let me see that.
I love those lectures.
Yeah.
Whoa. Kind of like you love them, Louis. You're joking.
Oh my God,
this time you're joking, right?
I just feel the floating needle inside of me. It just like comes out.
I really thought you were serious.
Lectures.
I did too. Liz was like, "Oh no, this is getting uncomfortable. Here goes the growth."
Is this like this debate with a Scientologist? What's happening?
Yeah. Oh, did we just jump in? I'm like, now what you gonna do about it? Okay, so let's go. Where's PTS for Life? Hi, Candy. Hi, Heather. Aw. Look at this. Heather Carr. Hey, Lara. Jesus loves you. Grazie. I appreciate that. Okay, where's the PTS for Life question? Mandy,
it wasn't it was just a comment. It was just a comment.
But I want oops, sorry, Mandy. She said I'm holding my titties, Lara. That was when I told everybody to hold on when we were jumping in with technical difficulties. Mandy. No, I'm wondering if there's a way. Sorry, I keep putting that up. Is there Mandy holding your titties? Is there a way for me? I think I already made her the mod. So if I didn't, let me know. Because then she can do all these things that I don't have to do. Okay, thank y'all. Okay, PTS for Life. What was the comment? I want to talk about that. I'm not getting over this. Can you read it, Dylan?
I don't see it anymore. It went through the screen. Is there a way to
Oh.
scroll back?
Is it
Yeah.
PTS for life?
I'm not
You
a
just scroll up.
StreamYard pro or anything.
Dylan, you
I
just
don't-
scroll up on the chat and you can
Yeah. Oh, I gotcha. I'm not.
just
I don't
find.
like my
Okay, so I'm gonna go
trackpad.
to the
My
bottom.
I
trackpad
love how
sucks.
it's like
Come on, cut me some
Dylan
slack.
tone 40, do blah.
New. See, tone
But
40
you
is
know,
making it
tone
She's so
40,
cute. Mandy
right?
said, I am the mod. I don't know how to bring up the
Mhm.
comments. You are so cute. Okay, you can star the comment. How about you
What's
star the
it?
comments or the questions, Mandy? And then I will look through the starred things and then that will
No
be
idea
easier.
what's
Right, guys?
happening.
I'm talking to Mandy in
can't
the
do
chat. Dylan, I'm going to mute you because you're just like chit-chatting to yourself.
Hilarious.
Being a meanie. I'm not being a meanie to Dylan at
It's
all.
so
guys.
good. You just be you. I'm sure
I
he likes
am.
it.
No,
loves
he
it.
doesn't. He hates it.
I don't think so. I think he likes
I don't
it.
see it.
You know, PTS for life. Why don't oh here it is. Oh, level 2 material is crazy stuff and state of man lectures. So level 2, what do you think? What is all under level 2? Do you know off the top of
Oh,
your head, Louis? Like
a
the
level 2
courses.
material is crazy stuff and state of man lectures. Level 2 is all the confessionals. So it's 24 lectures and moral code. What is a moral code? Withhold. What is a withhold? Over motivator sequence. Levels of auditing. And a bunch surrounding that. And a bunch of like demos because he does a lot of confessionals
Clay
where he's
demos.
actually like
Oh.
demos where he's doing the actual confessional auditing and you listen to how he sec checks other people.
Oh, and this
There's a
was just
lot of
on like
that.
the cassette tapes?
Yes. So you
Okay, a
listen
lot
to
of that.
Which you're now
Okay.
on CDs.
That's
Yeah, because that's right.
yeah, that's
What the
right.
heck? The cassette tapes.
Oh my
So do they
God.
still wait? So do you think that there's still do they still have the tape decks in all of the course rooms today?
It's a really
Hold
good
on.
point.
Because isn't that L. Ron Hubbard standard policy? It says a cassette player. It doesn't say a CD player. It says listen to the lecture, listen to the cassette. So you can't
Yeah,
you
but
can't, you can't squirrel L. Ron Hubbard's deck.
that's
At
true. But
all.
LRH Technical Research and Compilations could just update that with the. He probably has some comment on it in like a subdued FO in like a mention where he wrote it on the corner of a piece of paper.
Yeah, just like he said, remember the what's the flight, the plane, the jet or something that when we all leave this world, we're gonna be on that, right? He was like, it looks something like to go to Ezidiac or whatever.
Oh, I've never heard that. That's cool though. I want to hear more about that. What's that?
You've
Liz?
no, the ship that everybody's supposed to go on that looks like a certain way that looks as basically when a plane what is that, Liz? Now we're just getting sidetracked, but that's great.
So
Maybe
the new magazine.
oh, wait,
If you
please
buy
show
the
that again.
set-
Please show that again and hold it still. Look at this shit, guys. Wait, slowly raise it up a little bit, Liz. There you go. A little bit more.
Ah, yes.
Perfect. There. A little lower. Look at this, guys. What
That's just the
F?
basic book and lectures.
So these are just the basics, right?
Yeah.
But if you buy them, you too can own a special DVD or CD player just for you.
But
with
look at
headphones
it's
and all.
clear sound. It's clear sound made by Golden Era Productions, right?
That's ridiculous. I can't believe they still sell CDs.
CD
That's
player.
Well, what is it going to do?
ridiculous.
Sell like
Hey,
MP3
excuse
players?
you. What you think I sell records? You think I got vinyls? I only got CDs. I got CDs and tapes, but I do that on purpose. I actually do have one.
I wouldn't
vinyl,
mind a
but
vinyl. I like
I
vinyl.
can't. I just feel weird about putting my poppy rock, recorded music, digital shit on a vinyl.
Yeah,
But
that's
it's sexy.
music. Oh yeah, that's music.
I guess it would be kind of cool to have like for example, like an old school, well, I guess she probably ooh, no. Anyways, wow, now I'm going into the 80s and 90s, but how cute would that be to just put a Lara FM record on, and because it's on the vinyl, it sounds old and dusty? Oh, I could get that. I could feel that. Dylan, you'd
Yeah.
slap that on in your little hood over there, right? You'd be
I got
like,
a couple crates.
yeah, I got a couple
I'll throw it
crates.
in the crate for sure. Why not?
Do you do DJ spinning parties, Dylan, on your little neck of land? Dylan's
No,
got a
not
nice fat little lock of
not
land
anymore.
that he
No, I
hides
don't.
from the
I have like
world
an
on.
acre and a half.
Yeah,
Whoa.
but it's his private little lock of land.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go visit him
private lock of
someday.
land.
That's awesome.
We go
There you go.
camp it out, Dylan.
Get a Burning
Okay,
Man up there. Dylan can host it.
Yes, lots of plans.
SP. That would be fun to have an SP TV Burning Man party. Speaking of being authentic, I was watching Reese. I was watching Reese's live this morning. Hi, Reese. If you aren't following Reese, what's her relatable Reese? And
Relatable
she's
Reese.
also part of the SBTV community. She told me that somebody told her if you just put on lipstick, and then she was putting it on this morning, and I was like, watch what happens. I want y'all in the chat. Let me know if I look unbelievably gorgeous after I put this lipstick on. We shall see. Okay, don't look. Here's before. Are you guys ready?
Mm-hmm.
I'm gonna see if it's true.
Do
Apparently,
I
I
have to
look
close our eyes?
bright and shiny right when I put on the lipstick. No, I'm gonna turn around.
All right. I'll do a segue. When I was watching Reese, she was talking about Shark Week, and I thought she
Mhm.
loved the Discovery Channel for the longest time, and then I figured out that wasn't the case. But either
Yeah. Well, now
makes
Oh,
sense.
fuck.
Guys, I didn't
Fine
even
point.
do it. It's not fully doing it.
Did you just? Well, don't. Oh my! It's fresh.
No,
It's
guys, look.
fresh.
No,
I
it's
feel
like
it's
not
darker,
enough. I didn't even do
in
anything.
your room.
Fresh. The room
Huh?
got darker, or
Your
her
room-
lips got brighter.
Her room got darker.
Well, there you go, guys.
Well, yeah.
Okay, wait. Shark Week. Let's talk about Shark Week.
Let's not. Let's not do that. That would be no fun.
I think that's really funny that you didn't know. And also there is a thing called Shark Week, right? On
Mhm.
when they're
Discovery
playing
Channel.
like Shark. Yeah, I've definitely
Discovery.
watched that, and so it made me laugh super freaking hard when I first heard Reese say like, "Well, I already told you it's Shark Week or something," and
I'm
he
like,
kept
no,
she was
it's
telling.
not. That was like
She was
3
telling, and
months
I was
ago.
like, oh wow. I was thinking I should watch that again. I haven't watched that in a while. And then I was thinking, oh, she's immediately after that. I guess the next joke, I got it because that was a little slow, and I just
Same.
started cracking up. Did you not laugh, Dylan? That's a pretty funny way to quickly just put it out there on the live, YouTubes, and not have to be directly freaking all those weird people out about nature and their periods.
Unfiltered. Absolutely. No, I love it.
Unfiltered without a tampon.
Yeah.
Yeah, that would definitely be the flood.
5
Speaking of
years into the
flood,
WOG world, that's when
Yeah.
I found out about Shark Week, with the term Shark Week.
On
Oh.
Discovery Channel?
Did you figure it out on the Discovery Channel or?
Oh no, that's someone told me, a girl.
I really figured it out from Reese.
Yeah, same.
Oh.
Like a month
Me
ago
too.
or something.
No, not the
Really?
period.
Oh yeah.
Not the period
Huh.
cycle. I'm saying the first time I ever heard Shark Week was on
Right.
Reese's
Mhm.
Relatable Reese's
Oh,
channel,
wow.
and I was laughing. I mean,
Huh.
imagine, guys, that was the first time I heard that. You probably laughed really hard the first time because it's so funny and
It is.
true,
It's
and
so yeah.
and it was funny because she also had just started her stream, so she didn't want to talk about something that could have demonetized her. Like, that's so horrible that she was to call it Shark Week. Okay, anywho.
Like the idea, we get demonetized for everything. Like hop, skip, and a fart, and you're demonetized.
What did hop, skip,
It's a
and
hop,
up?
skip, and a
You're
fart.
out. Demonetized. But here's the thing. Demonetization doesn't mean that people can't go and watch our YouTubes. That's the whole point here. Like, That's our whole SPTV channel point. That's us releasing our stories, feeling good about finally talking about something that was forcibly hidden from us, forcibly told to us we are not allowed to speak about this. If you speak about this in any way, it's completely out PR for Scientology. You have to handle any upsets or any disagreements internally. Why do you think we're speaking about this on SPTV? Like, of course we're going to be doing this. And this is also why I want to have like channels where even in this community, we can openly speak authentic. If we disagree with something, we can talk about it. That is the whole point. We bring up things that are uncomfortable. We bring up things that other people in our community, in our SBTV community, are probably not so, are not doing good, or they're having difficulty with something. Good. Come to my channel and you can fucking talk about it. Feel free. There's no, I can also feel like if I want to get upset about something, that's okay. If somebody's upset with me on something, that's okay. Like, stop all this. Oh, you made me like, I mean, nobody does this with me. I'm perfect. But there are other people in the world. What's so funny? There are other people in the world that nothing. I love that, Dylan. One word, nothing, Lara. There are people in, what was I saying? Gosh darn
Nothing
it.
in the world. Nothing in the world.
You're
How
saying
people can
there's
get
That
mad at
did
you.
not
People
help.
Just
can get
nothing in
mad
the
at you.
there are
world.
no
Nobody
there are
can
no
get mad at you
things
because
in
you're
the world.
perfect.
Right.
Yeah.
There's
Yeah, you're
That's
perfect.
what you're saying.
Dang. Okay. Well, I guess
There
I
was
just,
nothing in
that
the
was
world that
point.
was as perfect as you, and
Yeah.
people aren't.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
Well, I was almost pretty much getting to my point. So
Right. That was a good one.
no, anyways, what I really was trying to say is that, like, please be authentic. If you disagree with something I'm saying, please just tell me. If I'm a dumb, silly girl and want to ask Louis more questions about level 2 materials, probably just sit there and wait and ask yourself why. Like, oh, let's see why is Lara so interested in this question? Or why is Louis so feel weird that I'm sorry, this is not important. No, I'm like, whoa, this is so important. Do not say sorry. A lot of you're so sweet, Louis. Ever since I've met you, literally through SBTV community, I've watched you. There's a few other people that I can't wait to meet and talk to, but you're one of the ones that I was like, Louis is so fun. And then I found out you also know Sina, right?
Yeah. She was the
You know
examiner at
Sina.
Foundation when I was on Actual Day.
Yeah, and Dylan
Okay.
knows Sina. Sina kind of not
I may know her
introduced me
now,
to Dylan.
too.
I had met Dylan one time in LA, I think, and then we
Yeah, I
were
think
just
so. Yeah.
clubhousey I don't know if you were ever into the Clubhouse thing.
The audio app.
Were you ever into? Have you all heard about Clubhouse? YouTube's probably like, banner. Don't
Like
mention
Mickey
that
Mouse?
name on YouTube.
I've never heard of it.
Demonetized.
No. So
Is
there's
that reality
there's
TV?
another
Yeah,
app
but
that
cooler.
before we started doing like the SPTV and all that, one of my outlets, honestly, one of my therapy outlets was this app thing. Basically, they have a platform. It's called Clubhouse, but they have a platform where it's basically you can join a room and say, so I open a room and it says kids of Scientology talking, and Dylan will see it and be like, oh, jump in, and anybody can listen live, but in the room there's an audience. And then there's a table, like basically a stage, kind of like this, but it's not visual. So when people were jumping in, they can have, all you're seeing is a picture, and it could be their picture, or they can have anything they want. They can change that picture anytime they want. So what I'm getting to is it's not a great platform. Definitely going to say that. But when we were using it at the time, it was actually, Dylan, wouldn't you say it was quite therapeutic? It was kind of interesting to be able to hear so many different other people's stories, or to like punch in when you really wanted to say something. If you really felt like you wanted to interrupt somebody, like, hey, I disagree with that actually. And you know what I mean?
Right.
And you're not talking faces. So it's a little different. It's a little like, it almost allows people to open up and say what they want vocally without having to show a visual or to be here to be famous or whatever the heck. It's not about that,
Right.
So that was really cool. And so I did a lot of talking, and I got to know Dylan audio wise, like literally through audio, really close. I felt like Dylan, sorry, not to overtalk you, Dylan, but he hates when I do this.
do?
But he's like, stop it. I feel like you hate when I'm like, Dylan is just so great.
He
And
loves
he's like,
it.
oh, I hate
Nice.
that. And I do too. It's so annoying. But I do have to say this. He does have this sweet compassion, experienced, sort of been through the whole kind of horrible experience that any human goes through. Like, I'm fucking going through this. He's somebody who's like, yeah, I kind of went through that too. Did it? Like, he's gone through it to be able to help and heal people. So, and he's also had children and blah, blah, blah. So I just feel like, I don't know. And then you're friends with Sina, who's one of my best friends. So I just thought that was really cool. So Dylan and I've just always been like, Dylan's calling, or I need to call Dylan. I wonder what Dylan would think about this. Dylan,
We
that
need to
person
get
in
you
the
a necklace. It's gonna be
in the
what would Dylan
what
do?
would Dylan do?
W.
WWUD, right? What would no
D-
WWDD.
Oh,
Very
yeah.
well done.
Whatever. Right.
Yours would very well done. VWD.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway, so I was getting back to the being able to anybody in the chat, you can ask me anything. There's a lot of times when people feel that they think I'm like, actually, I don't care what people think. I really don't care. A lot of people have spoken about like wondering, oh, what do you think about this religion? What do you think about, oh, well, like, because they like me, right? So they think, oh, well, I like you. You probably will understand the religion or the belief that I'm believing in. Right? You don't mean that you don't believe in God or you don't believe in Jesus on this. Like, you know what I mean? They break it down. And I say, do you really want to have this conversation? Because
like that.
because how you see me is love. If I'm going to talk to you about something that is uncomfortable for you, most people have a horrible habit, a horrible tendency of wanting to either get angry and to shut the conversation up quicker, to not talk about it, and that's uncontrollable sometimes. Some people just get stirred up. I even have do it many times where I get so stirred up in a conversation, I can't even get to the point of what I'm trying to get to, you know? Like right now. Anywho. But I just feel what I'm getting to, and I'm gonna pause and smoke a joint, and all of us, y'all can chime in. Is just that I'm sick. I'm always going to not be okay with not saying what we need to say. I'm not gonna be okay with even having an SBTV platform where everybody can't say what. If people judge and criticize, good. Everybody keep
I'm okay with
going.
that.
Good. Sorry, go ahead. Bill.
What is it that you're not okay with?
Okay. So, well,
Since we're
many things.
talking about being able to say what we're not okay, isn't that allude to?
Well, okay. There are several things in terms of certain people feeling they have like job positions, and because they have job positions, they have the authority or the entitlement to say you should do this or this is
In the WOG world or in the Sea Org?
I'm talking about real life right now.
Oh, okay.
Like when ex-Scientologists and ex-Sea Org members who are leaving Scientology or leaving the whole planet of Scientology, there's a lot of people in the SPTV community, not really in the SPTV, but in the outside, like connected to it, who have certain credentials or certain law degrees or certain whatever therapy degrees or whatever it is, or yoga, whatever it is, like a lot. In fact, anybody who ever comes at me with a job or with a title like that, like where they're an instructor or a life coach, oh, please don't ever message me if you're a life coach ever again. First of all, I'm
Just in
so
general,
sorry.
or is there one in
I
particular?
mean about life coaching. If you have not been okay, here's one of my pet peeves. If you have not been in the Sea Org or in Scientology, I don't see that you're going to give me very good healing therapy advice on something having directly to do with the Sea Org and Scientology if I don't explain myself or explain the whole situation of how I got to that point. So for me, They're to then get an opinion from somebody who hasn't had this experience in any way. I'm not trying to be. There's some people who have good, good feedback, or who can say, hey, I've never been in that experience, but I know that when I felt like this, or there's different ways to approach it. I don't just not listen all the time. Sometimes I listen. But I don't know how to tell them in a nice way. I'm working on it, but it's hard for me to not immediately get angry. Like, it's hard for me to immediately not go like, hey man, don't put that on me. I don't care if you're a therapist. I don't care. Like, it makes me kind of go, don't just jump to a conclusion of how somebody should handle or fix something when maybe it's not something they're even trying to fix at all.
Right. I like what you said about having to explain it to the therapist, because then it feels less genuine than it does if they have like knowledge, like prior knowledge, so you can just explain the predicament and not have to explain like the org board or all the ins and outs. Have you done therapy at all, Liz?
Yeah.
Have
A
you
lot.
found what have you found in that area? Have you had to explain the inner workings of Scientology in order to kind of find a common ground, or feel like they have some validity in helping you? Or have you just have you found like a disconnect, or
there's always going to be a disconnect. I mean, for me, in my opinion, there's going to be a disconnect between someone understanding and knowing what it feels like to be in the Sea Org and to be out in the real world,
right?
or a never in or whatever. But the best thing I can do is just tell them, if you have any questions, just ask.
Right.
Because the more questions they ask, the easier it is for them to get to know me.
Sure.
But yeah, I've had a lot of therapy. I got a lot of therapy bills.
Right. Well, it builds trust, right? I mean, like the more you dialogue and the more consistent, of a conversation you have with them, it builds trust, which is something that we desperately
Which is
lacked
hard, yeah.
growing up, for sure.
Yeah, because for me, if someone told me to do a clay demo, I might try to drown them in clay.
Right. I kind of there was like two ways of doing clay demos.
Yeah.
You either like globbed them together, or you made like all the arms and all the legs and all the torsos and all the heads and little
So you were an
toothpicks
artist
and little
enjoying your
circles for the
life,
eyes.
you were being an artist enjoying your life. Like,
It was
I
kind of
made the
fun
circles
sometimes.
and then
it totally
put a
was.
little
Like,
dots in for the eyes and the
Yeah.
nose.
Right, yeah. I
a
still like doing
supervisor
clay
told
and
me one
toothpicks.
time, like, Lara, not Lara, but Megan, we know what you're doing.
Like you're just
taking
too much
5
time.
days, 5 days on one clay demo.
Well, some clay, some demos are small, right?
I was like
Lewis,
painting the nails
you were at
red
soup,
of the
and then
can.
some were like whole table clay demos, like to get a finish
Key to
on like a
life.
course.
Have any of
Right,
you done
key to
Key
life.
to Life?
Yeah,
Have you done
that's what I was
Key to
gonna
Life,
say.
Louis?
I did.
I have not.
He didn't jump. I knew
They
he
wouldn't
didn't
let me
'cause he
do it. I
didn't jump.
tried. I told my handler that I needed to do Key to Life LOC, life orientation course, in order to handle my glibness, which is like a lower awareness when you're studying a Scientology word, glibness. Anyways.
Yeah, I think Tom Cruise made that word famous. Remember,
Yeah,
he
his was
was telling
dyslexia,
somebody.
wasn't it?
No,
Oh,
he
glib.
was telling
Oh,
a famous
Matt.
actress.
Matt
You know
Lauer.
what I mean?
You're
Matt
glib,
Lauer.
Matt.
You're
You're
No,
glib.
Annie
glib.
told
Oh,
some
that's right.
actress about she was taking some famous
Brooke
actress.
Shields.
Brooke Shields. He was like, "No, Brooke, you're glib. It's just glib." Anyway,
Yeah, I wanted
sorry.
to do that
It
course.
was
That's
his
like
new
the
word
only
that he
course I
cleared.
never did.
Okay, so but what courses? I know if you I still have
The
PTS for life
LOC, the life
comment stuck
orientation
up here.
course. That's what you
But
did.
how many were there a lot of clay demos and stuff on level 1 and level 2 of like all that going up? Don't you have to like even I
No.
remember a basic
So on
check
the
sheet had like
levels,
5 clay demos at least.
on the levels, you'd only do like 30 or 40 clay demos. But on the St. Hill Special
Yeah,
Briefing
30,
course,
40.
you do over 100 easy per level. And there's 26 levels on the St. Hill Special Briefing course. Whereas 0 to 4, 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 plus grad 5. Each of those only have like 30 or not very many clay demos. I used to have to memorize them because what my job was as supervisor was to get students through the check sheets, and I'd itemize how many clay demos there were, sketches and stuff, and how much time they would take and all these things. That's how I
And
know.
that's what I mean. That's what.
See,
Wow,
you got
wow.
the
That's even a
time.
crazy thing, right? Wait, what were you gonna say, Dylan?
No, they like checked on the time and
That's
how
what I was
long you
gonna
had to
say.
do the clay demo. I
And
didn't
now it
realize
makes
was,
I
sense.
would,
Remember,
yeah.
like they would say a normal or regular, like a good student, just a standard good student would get through the EPF within like
30
3
days.
weeks,
I
right?
was
Yeah,
really good
30
at getting
days.
people to understand how to do clay demos though. So they like I would have people like what you're saying, like take a really long time and stuff. And then we would just like word clear, the clay demo, like all the key
Right.
terms and stuff.
But you
And
just
then
mentioned something about you were making check sheets, or you would see how long it would take, right?
yeah,
Right? I
I
want to
was
go back to
the
that. Sorry.
I was the briefing course theory supervisor for several years.
Mm-hmm.
So I had
Wow, I
to
forgot about theory and practical course rooms. I totally forgot about that until you just said theory. Guys, when you're in you're in Scientology and you go to any course room, there's theory. Sorry, wow. I'm about to laugh now that I'm saying it. There's theory and then there's practical. There's theory meaning studies and books and like kind of quieter things, right? Anything quiet, right? And
anything,
practical would
yes.
be clay demos, word
Right.
clearing, check. I was
No,
gonna say
clay
check.
demos are in theory.
yeah,
So
TRs, upper
yeah, so clay
indocs.
demo, that's right.
that
You
kind
know
of
why?
stuff.
Because clay demo, you're not supposed to talk. You're
Yeah,
never
definitely no
supposed to
talking.
talk.
Definitely no
You're
talking.
you're
There's
not even
no talking.
allowed. Yeah, you raise your hand when you're ready for the supervisor to come inspect your clay demo, and you're not allowed to speak. They will see where it starts by the way that you have made the clay demo. They should just know when they look at it. Oh, it starts here, da da da, and then you have a clump of clay or something at the end that says overall, and you lift it up at the end. It will say like a team. A team has a tendency to know what the other team members are doing and thinking, coordinates their bias and their width, and it's the whole definition of a team that in the check sheet. I remember this on KSW, clay demo, the definition of a team. That's one of the things that took me the longest. And when I did that, I started to enjoy clay demos because then I started to just be like, wow, I'm never going to get, I was so mad. I was like, I'm never going to get through this ever.
Yeah, I
And so then
know.
as I started just
You
being,
have to get good at
they
it.
called it surf hacking. As I was surf hacking, which means I was upset. I was resenting what I was being told to do. And so instead of just doing it, I started just purposely going really slow. And then I started to get really into it after a few hours. So then I started like, oh, wow, nobody's stopping me. And again, Dylan, I definitely had fun doing some clay demos.
Well, and then
Yeah.
like Lord of the Flies kind of stuff. If you could never finish a clay demo, not never, but a lot of times the bigger ones you had to do over time. And when you were in the Sea Org, you had to like cover it and put your name on it and like no. And then people would steal like a body or two for their clay demo
I
and
forgot
relabel
about
them.
Put it back.
Did
I
you ever
forgot
bust
about
anybody,
that.
Lou?
Yeah, that's
Did
allowed.
you ever?
I used to make
That's
bodies for my
allowed?
students.
Wait,
Yeah.
That's crap. That's what I'm saying. That shouldn't be allowed.
You can
Louis
just look. You
joking.
just
Louis a funny creature.
no, that's
I'm
dumb.
just
This is a real
kidding.
thing. I'd
Wait,
make the
Louis, you're not allowed. You're not allowed. No, I remember the supervisor saying, hey, I just passed Brian on that. You're not allowed to use, you need to make your own clay demo. It doesn't say
no.
use
You have
Brian's
to
no
clay
mush it
way.
demo.
up in a little pile.
But
We used
so
to
I
mush them up
remember,
Verbal
really
text.
lightly, so
yeah.
they would,
Wait,
so you could
guys,
like take the bodies
That
apart
flunk was
and still
incorrect. I'd
use
like to
them.
indicate
do you
that.
remember the
Oh.
drop bins that they started making us?
Sorry.
They would cut
That's
out the
terrible.
table and they would drop these big, huge bins of clay. And eventually, people on KTL, whatever, on the I just used their abbreviation, the Key to Life course. I remember because they used to say KTL LOC, right? KTL. Okay. Anyways, so the
Yeah.
people they would have these big clumps of bins in the middle of this wooden table, and all the table was for was clay. And so they would know, oh, I mean, once I finished my definition of a team and all that, and the dynamics and having to play them, all that, Oh yeah, a lot of that happened on my RPEC. We'll talk about that another time. But wow, cleanup. Oh, I would go and look, and
That's
I would be like,
repair of past
yes.
ethics conditions.
I would go look in the bins and see that somebody had just clumped a bunch, and I would be like, yes. Oh, I would be like saving their thought. You know, when you make a thought, you have to roll out this
Hell
long,
yeah.
you'd have to use a lot of the string.
Yeah,
You
yeah.
would make a circle and roll it anyways, and put the thought label in there. Thought. That's a thought. Look, it's going to the head. I remember sometimes
Right, the
they're
little
like,
thought
this
line.
is going to the
It
mouth.
goes-
Is it
Yeah.
going to the mouth or the head?
Is he saying?
Remember
it?
that? Yeah, is he saying it or are you thinking it? I was like, well, he's
Or
thinking it. Well,
hearing
then
it?
you need then it needs to be. Yeah, is he hearing what he's? Oh, remember? So if
You're the-
He's
one
doing
person
verbal
saying
tech.
communication
something,
That dude was
cycle.
doing verbal tech.
yeah,
Totally.
yeah, total verbal tech. So we're not allowed to say, and you're not allowed to speak. You are not allowed to speak while the supervisor is looking at your clay and saying,
Yep.
the thought is going to his
Yeah.
head.
And
And
you're
then
like,
he's
no, his
speaking,
mouth,
and
his
there's a
mouth.
line. No, it's coming out of his ass. Wrong, flung.
It was a fart.
Yeah, exactly.
Anyway,
But there's a cheat code though. You just the
wonder if I can
men,
pull
you don't
that
need
up.
to put the arms and legs on. You just roll up like a little log, and then
I
you cut
know
each
you
end,
cut him
and
in
then
half.
that's it.
We already are
It
you
was such
telling
a
Separate the
cop-out.
head.
You're right. No, Louis, in my head, that's what I was thinking the whole time. We would roll
Yeah.
literally, we would roll a little fat, little long log
Oh, I
basically
love
out
those.
of
Yeah.
clay and chop it in 10. When I needed to do a
Yes.
team, I had to have a lot of people, right? So
Yeah.
I chop it in 10
Like on a
and then
whole
roll
table?
another thing, chop it in 10, and then all I would do is take that, cut the ends off, arm, leg, and then roll a ball. Boom. We all did this. Roll a ball. How many? I know we all did this. Not you cannot. Nobody in this chat or nobody on SPTV can say that they didn't do this. How did
Figure
you
a way to
make
shortcut.
this should be a
That's
question.
the shortcut.
Cheat
What
codes.
is the fastest, quickest way to make a human out of clay?
I love it.
It would literally be
You
like
should have a
roll,
competition.
flip,
That should be
password.
it. That
who
should
could
be
do it
one
the
of
Give me
fastest?
the
No, it would
password.
literally be like. I
I don't
mean,
know if
I
mine
would.
was.
I'm pretty quick
It was
because I use my
definitely-
fingers.
right?
I'll slice it instead of using a knife.
Louis would beat me because he seems pretty good at random shit like that.
That's all they do in the course room.
Wow.
You just practice when we were gone.
Anyways, I really thank you all who left the humans halfway made in the bins and the thoughts and the talks because you saved me a lot of deep.
You're welcome. You're welcome.
Deepness.
All those
See,
past
mine-
Louis
souls.
was like, that was all me.
See,
Liz, I appreciate it. Wait, Liz, you were
I
the
would
weren't you
squish
the
it.
LC? No, Liz, what was your job at CC? Sorry, not to.
EPFIC.
But what was the thing that you did? Was there something you did technically or no?
No. I worked in
On public lines
CC
or no?
Network. No,
Okay. So at CC, you were the EPFIC.
correct. And then I was
Isn't
a
this
floater.
crazy? Sorry, isn't this freaking crazy?
What year were you at FIC?
I want to say 97, 98, and part of 99.
Wow.
Okay.
When
Huh.
did you leave
Um,
again? Sorry. I know you've already
2000.
said this a million times. 2000. I left
What
2000.
month?
I think it was September, to be honest.
Are you joking, Louis, or no? Or did
I'm
you
not
leave in
joking because
2000?
it has to do with the events. I feel
Oh,
like
okay.
you can kind of get a gauge of what's happening by the
He's like,
event.
what's your
time.
social security? Now
No,
I can
'cause it was-
really figure it
No,
out.
'cause my family
Right before the
decided,
IS event.
Yeah, my family decided that they were going to celebrate my grandmother's birthday, and my grandmother's birthday was in September. And they had asked me specifically, you should go, stop crying in your room. This is just, it's nothing. I don't know why you
Thank
keep
you.
crying.
Stop being banky.
Yep.
And then you just never went back.
No, I never went back to the zoo. I already went back one time. I'm not trying to go back, third time.
Okay, quick question for you, Louis, from Sandy Powers, who makes me these amazing gloves and outfits. She's a freaking amazing queen.
Oh yeah.
Did someone make Louise fingerless gloves? Any reason they are red? Did someone make them? I think she had a little too much
Make.
glass of wine on the made them, but she already asked, did someone make them? So answer the question, Louis.
I got them at a thrift store. and they look super cute. So I put them on, and I was like, I'm gonna wear these out to the party.
Okay,
you
you're
go.
so cool. Yes, welcome to the party. Yeah, to the party. Louis, go like this because I want Sandy to see them because I would love to
Oh,
send
like
her a
this?
few
Okay.
dollars. Yeah, so that she can send you a pair out of goldenrod ones that are just like that.
There you go.
Oh.
For real, she'll do it. She's amazing. Or maybe she
Those
won't.
are tech gloves. They're red.
But watch her. She'll make all kind of cool things. She'll put some. She's amazing. And maybe not. Maybe she's like, no, I'm not doing that anymore. Just kidding. She's awesome.
These ones are really
That's
tight.
Sandy.
I have to take them off probably soon.
Okay, well,
Sorry, that was random.
Well, here's
Yeah,
here's
it's
a
fine.
question that I really did like.
Yeah.
PTS for Life at 947 says, question, can all of you discuss a method of therapy that has helped you rediscover the real you versus what Scientology tells about you?
Dylan, do you want to start with that?
Hey, therapy. Well, I mean, it's weird, like
Sorry.
professional therapy, like
Really?
I think
Well,
I
that's what it
think
sounds
or-
He's
like.
always there.
I don't know. I don't think he's. I think he says, can you all discuss a method of therapy that has helped you rediscover the real you?
Anger
Listening
management.
to birds.
right.
When you, I know you're not
It's
joking, and when
outside.
you say that,
That's-
is it because you're listening to your own thoughts and hearing like is it
No.
you feeling like no? Okay, you're just
Just
not being
feeling
lied
calm
to.
and peaceful and like
Yeah.
listening to them tweet, and they all make different patterns of tweeting. It's just interesting to listen to. It's very calming.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of forced to deal with a lot of my trauma. So I didn't really like the therapy for me was kind of like more life or death. So I sort of just dealt with it and continue to deal with it. When I was able to actually get therapy, it was harder to find someone that would actually understand what I went through or what I was going through because I didn't know myself at the time. And so I went through a couple therapists. And honestly, like when you're in that headspace, I don't know that I was, vetting therapists. If somebody would see me, I would talk to them at one point because I knew that like peeling layers of the band-aid off was never getting to the infection or never getting to the actual wound. But I think it takes actually, I think the biggest method I would say is deciding that you are a survivor and that you are going to be healing. As long as you deny it or deflect it or project it, like at one point we made those decisions, whether we like it or not, whether it was abusive or not. And that's something we have to live with. And then we have to live with how we deal with other people. Either we deal with them through fear or we deal with them through, our trauma or, when somebody else is raw, do we center ourselves or do we just sit and listen and hold space for people? So it's hard to say a method because honestly, I know a lot of those methods that they scare the shit out of me, to be honest with you. Like I've had therapists be like, oh, you need this cognitive distance, not cognitive distance, but you need this cognitive therapy. And I'm like, wow, that sounds really regimented and kind of cultish to me. So I'm going to run away and never talk to you again and go to a different therapist. And so I think, and every therapist seems to have, I've gone to psychotherapist, I've gone to psychiatrists. I've gone to when you're homeless and you get in on helplines, you get access to different counselors and, whatever is there, student counseling. And it's whether you avail yourself to it is the big thing. Because some people are disinterested. Some people
Dylan,
actually listen.
I was so into everything you were
Yeah.
saying until you said, unless you avail yourself. And then it reminded me of the freaking are you going to jump off the abyss? Or are you going to avail yourself of the technology? Whatever he says. Remember
But that's
that
not
guy?
Ella That's
Or
a
are you
real word. That's a real
No,
word.
but in the film, I think the first time I heard avail, he was like, "Are you, or will you avail yourself of the?" Like he uses that word. Anyway, sorry,
Right,
I love
right.
you. I was not trying to, but yes, I was also very much listening to your.
Well, no, and like Liz was nodding her head, so I'm sure you have, can kind of riff off of what I was saying as far as, getting a therapy or a method pushed on you as a recovering, it's like, I don't know. For me, it was a lot of resistance. What say you, Liz or Lewis?
For me, I reached a point that I couldn't resist. It was do everything I could or die.
Mm-hmm.
And people want, if someone wants to say that's dramatic, you didn't live in my shoes. It was. It got to a point where it was, I need to listen, I need to learn something, I need to read everything I can. And now I'm doing deprogramming, now I'm doing psychiatry and therapy, and I vent on YouTube.
Which I think is a
At
good,
night.
right?
That's
It's a good
cool.
way to help, right? Like, I think that's the one thing that after you get through with all the professionals and you kind of realize that you have to be the one to make decisions to make that change. And a lot of it relies within you, even though it's very hard. One of the biggest therapy-ish ways is reconnecting with people that have shared trauma.
Yeah.
Not to trauma bond or trauma dump, but to be able to, accept people where they're at on that healing journey and to meet them at that level. It's hard to see people where I know I've been and not be able to nudge them forward and know that they kind of have to go through and see those same
They have to
patterns.
make their own steps.
Right.
Otherwise,
It's
for
hard
me
though.
personally, if you push someone that's not ready, then it's basically like you're pushing them off a cliff. Because
Right.
if they're not
Right.
ready to take those steps that they need to do, then you're just shoving them off the cliff and you could make them worse. So for me, it's literally, I don't think of it more as trauma bonding, but okay, for me, I have the hardest time with before therapy and coming to this and working my way through stuff. I had the hardest time connecting with Never Ends because so many people would tell me, you speak a different language. Like, what language is that? Like, you talk funny. And I
Right.
would be like, well, that's fucking rude, you jackass. Like,
Right.
I'm not speaking a foreign language. I'm literally just talking. And it wasn't until I sat down with a group of second gens, third gens, whatever gen it was, and all of a sudden, it was like the lingo came back. It wasn't bad, and it was a common ground for us to talk to. And I wasn't treated like, oh, you leper. Like, how dare you say those things?
Right.
No,
Well,
it's just our lingo.
and it's those neural pathways that were developed at such a young age that our speech patterns, that's what reflects in it. It's not just words, it's the speech patterns that we had.
Yeah,
were
and some of the
taught.
made up words too.
Well,
Let's
no,
just
I mean,
say.
there's a whole dictionary of it. So yeah, absolutely. But
Yeah,
that
multiple.
interwoven in all the, and that's how you brainwash people, and that's how you, Chinese school, and that's something that, every one of us either did or ran.
Patter drills.
So,
Patter drills
right.
too.
Yeah, patter drills. That's very true.
What do you do drills? Remember those? Golden Age your check.
Oh yeah.
What do you do?
Oh
Yeah.
That's
Yeah,
when it like what do you do
drills.
drills for me is when what do you do? And then when you're doing the KSW to the wall, that
Yeah,
to
pattern.
me is when I was like, oh, I'm really literally I did know I did and I'm saying this not knowing anything about the brain or psychology. I did know that I was programming my brain to remember this. Like I was like, this is wow. I'm just I didn't know what hypnosis was. I didn't know what auditing really was at this point. I didn't know what therapy or psychology was, obviously. And I definitely didn't know what psychotherapy was. And I didn't know what, like hypnotic, even just repeating a rhythm or a pattern over a certain amount of time,
Right.
what it does to the mind and the body and your process and your feelings. Like in the same way you do meditations to breathe properly, like, and then after like even 10 breaths, you're like, wow, I have not been breathing right for the last 48 hours or whatever. Like, it's the repetitive drills, like having to repeat, guys, we all did this for many, many, many hours. All four of us here were staring at a blank wall, repeating L. Ron Hubbard scriptures. I don't even like saying that because he is a fraud. He's fake. His knowledge, if it was ever intelligent, was stolen from other people who already came up with the information he has, and then he converted it into a mind manipulative, controlling.
I like calling it a mind fuck.
Well, how old were you guys? Was everybody when they did their like upper indoc TRs, like the upper?
Oh God, my
like,
mom
I was
audited
10,
me on that.
maybe 11.
I
the
was
oldest.
10. I was
when I did my regular
10.
TRs way before that.
That's on your co-audit, right?
It's when I was a kid, it was all on the like super basics, like the success through communication was like the basic TRs, and then you did the upper indocs above that. But the Hubbard or the Hubbard Qualified Scientologist course, which was called the HQS, that had all of them. And then if you did any auditor training, they had you do all the upper indocs. So like all the 8C, all the Tone 40, which is like the ashtray drills.
Yeah,
you know,
I described that in one of my earlier
telepathy.
episodes.
Right.
I literally,
No, but
I described this in the
crazy.
episode because I was
TR8.
I was explaining to everybody how you have to yell. You're yelling and you're balancing. You're balancing your like literally your muscles to not yell because sometimes you do get flunked for screaming.
Right, you can't. Right, you have
but
to
you
yell,
have to be.
And then you have to do
I
it
want to
without.
yell at. I want to do it right now. Can I do it, guys?
You're doing it right now already.
Because that's a flunk, right? That would be a flunk. Here's a Tone 40 flunk.
You're doing the Tone 40.
Louis just passed me. He was like, your needle is already floating. Get out of this auditing room. Save yourself.
You know what sucks is having, well, I don't know. It's kind of for me, having these are my childhood memories. Like it's funny to be able to reminisce with people and be able to say, and I think most like when you're
a lot of us resent that. A lot of us
when you're in the real
don't
world,
want to talk about it.
You hear social conversations, and it's like, oh, hey, remember when we went to that softball tournament or that baseball tournament, and we all went to the Monterey Aquarium, and I'm like, remember when we did upper indocs? It's like, holy shit! Like you don't realize it's how you normalize stuff.
How we dug 80 miles, literally 80 miles. It was a reported statistic of trenches around the Int Ranch base.
Yeah, well, labor was ridiculous. I mean,
that's just a simple project. That was a fun project. We were able to oh, cool. We got to dig.
I think Marco talked about that a lot too.
Marco
Labato. He was a DTS Astro
you guys
Day.
were close. Gosh, dang.
Not close, but we were friends.
Marco was a pretty nice dude. Did you know Marco Labato by any chance? Liz or Dylan?
No.
Or Natalie Labato? Natalia? Sorry. No, it was Natalie. Natalie Labato.
Was she older?
His sister. Younger sister. But she was, I think.
Go ahead.
No, I think, that's what all they're saying. Marco Labato and Natalia Labato. But so Labato's post was what again? Marco's with you? Like,
well, when I knew him, he came from Int or somewhere, and he was the DTS Director of Tech Services, Astro Day. And
Director of Tech Services. Wow. So he got put on a tech post from Gold Base.
That's not a tech post. That's an admin post.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay.
DFT
Tech Services is someone that takes care of like all the folders and moving them between rooms, essentially.
Okay.
And they take the PCs and route them, which means to move them
like the head
from the food place to the HGC auditing rooms and
Then there's
stuff.
tech pages. Yeah.
Well,
Then
because
that's
no,
when
I
you
was
know
gonna
you've made
say
it.
a folder bitch is not. That's what I was gonna say. Is you actually have to have some sort of authority.
Mhm.
Basically, they have to know that you're not even in any way thinking about leaving the Sea Org or like anything at all, like nothing like that at all, right? Because you could definitely be running away with these
Everyone's thinking
people's
about
folders.
leaving.
I mean, that's what I was
Yeah.
gonna say. That's not really
Okay.
true. I was gonna say
Been
that's
for a
not
long
really
time, yeah.
true about not wanting to leave Sea Org. I guess I was gonna say when you, for example, when you're holding as a tech page or their
They gotta be
supervisor, direct,
trusted.
right?
That's
You feel trust, like very like I'm holding somebody's life.
oh, I
Technically, I'm
see.
holding their
Yeah, the
life in my
PC
hands
folders.
because this is
Mm,
OT3 material and I'm not OT3, but I'm trusted enough to carry these because I'm a tech page. I'm approved.
Right.
You had to be
You're
approved by
not going to
RTC.
open up the rubber
I knew the
band and
line.
peek in.
I was in CMO when I learned that, oh, all these tech pages have to get approved all the way up through RTC for them to be
oh
holding an
yeah.
OT, a clear folder or above. That's it, period. That's why they were allowed to have the cards and all the keys. Dude, they had these like 10 cards and a huge fat keychain that would literally rub their uniform so much throughout the day that they would have to eventually get the stitcher or the dry cleaner to sew a patch because they had so many keys to get into to get the folders.
Yeah, all the
Yeah,
I mean, it was
crazy.
ridiculous. This stuff that we
And most of
normalized
these people, not
as
gonna lie, were
children and as
underage. Were
yeah.
underage, like they were little young kids with lots of energy, or
Yeah,
like
Jordan
just fair.
Jordan Schermerhorn. Do you know
Yeah,
him?
of course, he was at the Int Ranch. His
He
brother,
was.
all of us were.
I was when my first post in Asho Day was the HGC admin, which is
Mhm,
under the DTS,
mhm.
and then so Jordan
Hubbard Guidance
Schermerhorn
Center admin,
was
whatever. We're not gonna
a
get into that.
folder page
Yeah.
that worked, and he was like 14, you know,
Mhm.
and he Jeff Miner was his boss, and he threw him to the ground. That's what I remember the most.
Jeff threw
Yeah,
Jordan.
Jordan. Yeah, I grabbed him out of the chair. I remember he threw him to the ground. And, that was like one of the first things I saw. I was like shocked. I didn't even. I moved on. I like didn't know what to do. I didn't report it at the time or anything.
Were you in? This is in the Sea Org, right? Yeah. There's no way you would have seen that if you weren't in the Sea Org. That's what I was just
Yeah,
thinking.
you
Even
would.
as a
Yeah.
public Scientologist, nobody would have done that in front of a public.
Anyways. Yeah, it was
Anyways,
in the
no, that's
back.
horrible. I know Jordan Schermerhorn very well because he was at the Int Ranch and his brother, Brian Schermerhorn, and his
Didn't know
older
him.
brother I met later, Jared Schermerhorn, RIP. He passed away during COVID from pneumonia
Oh,
because
sorry.
I've heard something like that. Anyways, but yes, I know Jordan. I know the Schermerhorn family very well. His mother literally is down the street from the blue building. What do you call that? ASHO, I guess, right?
Mhm.
ASHO Foundation and ASHO, AOLA.
Yeah. I just call
it-
him Pat
his
Base.
mother, all the
They're all
short
blue.
Jimmer,
Yeah.
forget her name, but Shimmerhorn, their mother is down the street from the blue building, which is not far from where I live, basically, is what I'm getting to. And I see her all the time. And I
And she's
cannot
a
help.
Scientologist.
She's in the Sea Org. She's going to these
Is Bridge
apartment
still on
buildings
the
in the Sea
corner?
Org.
where these
Holy
old
cow.
Sea Org members are
I was
going
told
there.
it
She
moved.
helps the MLO.
okay.
She does something for these old Sea Org members that live
And
near
her
my
name
building.
is still Schermerhorn.
Her last name is Shimmerhorn.
It's not a
I don't
married
know if
name.
it's still,
Faith?
I have no idea, but I'm
Jeff
saying
Hawkins says Faith.
yes, Faith Shimmerhorn.
Faith.
She's 100% the mother of
Thanks, Jeff.
Jordan, Jared,
I remember the
and
dad. Is he a
what's that?
Caucasian gentleman?
What's that?
Jordan Schermerhorn's dad. Was he Caucasian in the
I
Sea
don't
Org?
know. I never met
Okay.
the dad. I only met at the Inn Ranch. I only knew the mother,
Okay.
I think.
Okay.
I have no idea.
I
Anyways,
just
so
sorry.
but what I'm getting to is that sorry, not even what I'm getting to, but my heart is so emotional when it comes to this family, the Shimmerhorns, because Brian Shimmerhorn currently right now is a security guard at the Blue Buildings who like he would be there with Odo like protesting, you know, he would be the Sierra
That's good.
member in the
You can
Sierra.
talk
No,
to him.
well, guys, my cats and dogs.
Yeah, like
Go
that would
see
do
the-
any good.
No,
Like
it
when
wouldn't.
you're in it,
It
it's
wouldn't.
so
He's
ridiculous.
literally
Yeah,
we've
it
had
helps.
our own
No, it does.
conversations where it was really
It
heavy,
really
and I was
helps.
like, I was like, Brian, I can't believe you did a video about how great the Int Ranch was. Like, I got mad at him. I got mad at JJ Klingler. I got mad at Ariella
Oh yeah,
Coleman.
JJ.
They all did this video as the only kids on their Scientology website of talking about how great the Int Ranch was. Jamie Butterworth. And I was just like,
Oh my God, Jamie.
not once you're gonna, not even like, and anywho.
JJ
Anyways,
Klingler
I'm not
too?
attacking.
I
It was
can't
just
believe
it
that.
went. Oh yeah, me and JJ Klingler used
He
to
was
run
such
off
a
the ranch.
bad boy
and-
in the Sea Org. I thought for sure he was.
He was a bad boy at the Inn
turned.
Ranch. That's why he was sent back. Not why, but they were like, he needs to go closer to his mom or something. I don't know. But me and him were, when he went to the Inn Ranch, I don't care what he says. Me and JJ were good friends at the Inn Ranch, and we would do a lot of out ethics things together. Like we would go, we would make each other laugh so hard. We would always be getting each other in trouble. It's so stupid. Anyways, yeah,
He
JJ.
was
Anyways,
always on
yeah,
tag.
right. Always in the governor's group. Did you know JJ Klingler or any of these kids we're talking about, Dylan or Liz?
Yeah, go ahead.
No.
The Shimmer
Dylan,
Horn.
did you grow up around the Pac base?
I was in Florida. I was at Flag and then CST.
Oh, Flag.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Dylan was in early day Florida, right? Like what years were you in Florida?
In the 80s, the middle
Yeah.
to late 80s, and then I was up at CST. After
Yeah,
that.
I was. I want to say the hacienda, but it was something funky in '88.
Hacienda.
Oh, okay. Yeah,
Hacienda
Hacienda
Garden.
Gardens. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's when
but
it was
there
like
was nothing
purchased
garden
pretty
and
close to it.
glorious about it.
No, it was a dump when we got it. It was
It's a
Yeah, it
dump
was
when we
bad.
left it.
yeah. It's
Wait,
still- I think it's still in
what-
existence.
No, we definitely made it look a lot nicer when us, I
Yeah,
guess,
they're
by
putting
our
security fence around it so nobody can leave.
nicer, right?
That's
and
really
bushes.
nice.
You guys got the pool fixed because the
Yeah.
pool smelled like
and we
ass.
painted the
We're in
outside.
the laundry room. It had a lot of potential.
We
did.
fixed all the patches in the outside walls, and we redid the security gates so that the gates closed fully without wobbling.
Yeah, they
Did you know
never
Tony
closed
Perbilski,
once when I was
Dylan?
there.
Huh?
Who? Joey? I know his
Did you
dad,
know
Dan.
Tony Przybylski and Dan
Tony-
Przybylski?
I know Dan.
Wait, yeah, Dan
yeah.
Perbilski.
They worked at CST in the LRH library or whatever
Yeah,
it's called.
They
archives.
were. Dan was in the first part of CST, and then he got busted back down to Int.
Okay.
Or sent on special projects.
Dan
Tony-
Perbilski, just so you know, became the Int Ranch IC head of
Right.
the
That's
Int
right.
Ranch
So from
for
going to
11
CST
years.
to the Int Ranch,
11
IC,
years
right.
was the head of
I
Int
heard he
Ranch.
blew though. See, Tony
sure.
told me he blew.
Who didn't blow?
Recently or
At
old back in the
Int.
day? Back in the day.
What's that?
I don't
Did
know
he-
when he would have blown. If he did, he would definitely be a great guy to talk to.
He was at CST with Tony. Did
But
you know
what
Tony
year,
as well?
Louis? What
Yeah,
year?
he
are we
helped
talking
start
about?
it. He was like
I have
in
no idea.
84, I think. 83, 84.
Oh,
It's-
he did. Wow.
Yeah, he
So
helped.
he was
He's on the
king of
original list of people that started it. Dan was.
That
not
is
Tony,
so
but Dan was.
creepy and interesting. I mean, creepy
Yeah.
because
it was
answers-
started as a
it
garrison mission. So it was started through action.
And you
And
were there
then-
too, or you were there
Not
later?
when it started. I was there during the second evolution. There
And
was
what,
there's
how
been
many
3
years
evolutions.
after the inception were you there?
Probably about 4 or 5, I think.
Oh, that's still close.
Yeah, well, it was a fairly new project. I mean, they had archival projects all over trying to find originals. But then when
And did you find them?
that wasn't my job.
Okay,
Once
go ahead.
once I was there,
Sorry.
they
No, I
had,
love all these questions. I was like nailing it. Did you find them?
yeah, everyone. No, there was, and they even do a.
This episode is about authenticity.
There were, it was a lot of questions. I mean, those were things that really made
Oh, I
you
was just really getting in.
believe or not believe. Was, some of these recorded masters or copies of masters was all they could find. They couldn't find original masters, and so they had to like rely on copies. So that's where a lot of the gray areas come in, where it's not 100% standard technology. And as you know, in the Sea Org, that's everything. Is the tech. If you don't have the tech, then you lose everything.
You're
kind of thing.
squirreling.
Right. Well, or your verbal data, or the list of everything. So yeah, it was interesting. So they had the archival and the then the preservation, and then I was part of the preservation and building the archival facilities.
So did you ever see any confidential references regarding CST or anything like that while you were at CST?
Yeah.
What'd you see?
Sorry. Oh my God. I love Louis, just straight on point.
There were a lot of advices for CST. Every org, when you got up into these, like, they had to justify why they started them. So they kind of compiled, like CC was that way, how you safe point the public and you safe point, like how it was all the advices for, and there was a bunch of missions in the late 80s that were compilation missions that were compiling all the advices for every area. So like, I think it started probably with Cine, because that was the biggest, emphasis for the longest time was LRH and movies. So
Wait,
they started with.
Did Cine start away from Gold Base, Golden Era Productions? Was that?
No, it was all. That's where, I mean, they did a bunch of locations. I mean, Mark and those guys are the ones.
No. I'm saying Cine as a title. Was Cine started at Gold Base, or was Cine going in another?
It was at Golden Era Productions. Like, so the weird thing about Gold Base.
Wait. I'm saying before like Gold Base started. No,
there was something before Gold Base. Yeah.
Wait, guys, I'm asking the Cine department. Did that start before Golden Era Productions physically existed at the Gold Base? Or did Cine was Cine created at Golden Era Productions? That's what I'm trying to get.
That's a very good question.
I definitely know all the orgs at Gold Base. I'm just saying. I'm wondering if Cine then was created kind of was Golden Era Production created
for the peeling the onion people.
Right. Okay, good. Boom. I'm writing this down. The Janice and the.
Well, yes. No, I think Mitch would know for sure, but I would say
was Mitch?
Well, he knows the lineage. I mean, he's definitely been involved with that, and so would Mark Headley.
Very good question. Wow.
So you were in the evolution where they were building things, and you did.
Well, I don't know if they had movies. Did they do any movies prior?
So what was the advice?
I don't know.
Do you remember any key advices?
There weren't, so with CST, it was so late in the chain that when you look back at the history, LRH was off the lines for almost the entire, from the inception on of CST. So they had to really scour, random advices, a lot of ASI advices on how that was set up. But honestly, that was set up through a few key execs at the time. One thing that's interesting that I don't know, I might as well bring up here because I've thought about it, is everybody talks about a successor for LRH. And everybody's like, oh my God, he didn't have a successor planned. And, DM took over. And then who's DM's successor going to be and all this crap. And maybe it's being in the management structure or being in the Sea Org and knowing about the command channels and the echelons. But Scientology was meant to police itself. It was meant to oversee itself. It was meant to double check itself. It was meant to self-police.
Yeah.
You write up things that should not be reports. You write up yourself. You write up overts and withholds. You assign yourself conditions every week. You give yourself battle. I mean, it was meant to just be this robotic, and you don't need a leader alive running it. The way it was set up is you need that CST entity, that big holier than, the Mormons, look at Brigham Young, look at all the, the resurrected statue. That is their leader still, who has attained the higher level. And the organization still runs with the deacons and the hierarchy and all that. Scientology was really, even though it wasn't stated, which maybe was the biggest mistake, but there was never, I don't think, a plan, because there was never a plan for anybody to take over. Who could take over from Source? It doesn't make any sense, right? So, I mean, for me, that was kind of what I realized being in the Sea Org was, it was meant to run itself. And you would have to do it prior to DM changing the corporate structure, changing everything. How LRH kind of set it up and left it originally is how it was intended to be run, in my opinion. So a little bit of nerdery of Scientology for you.
I agree, yeah, but I,
No, that
however,
was
do disagree about the I think
how
the
it's supposed to be run.
advices thing is
Oh,
that's a huge thing. Like, just like they use that advices to just make up Scientology. I think that's what David Miscavige has done. He's
Well, if
taking
you
these advices that LRH has said, supposedly, like in a worksheet or some shit, or on a letter he sent to Mel Badine in Ohio.
right, or like an order of the
We should
day
make
where
a
he made a
running
comment,
program.
right.
Fucking
And it's
which
to
I did at Gold
emphasis,
Base
right?
as well as a kid.
It's
Oh
how
my
you
gosh.
emphasize it.
Right.
That's what we used to do it. Like, so a good example is when I was in HCO, my job was manning missions and having a missionary unit.
Okay,
And
yeah.
I had to provide missionaries for action and ops units. And so we would have to go out and use every policy, every OOD, every flag order. OODs are orders of the day. Like ship orders, everything you could find. Even if you knew there was a policy that like maybe contradicted it, if you emphasize the flag order in the whole musical chair policy that you had so that this guy could go on mission, it was totally legit because you had LRH backing you. And then maybe the next time you would use the policy and go against the flag order to get your
Policy
way.
and seniority. Yeah.
Well, and then, if anybody called you out on it, there's always a hierarchy of policy, of LRH policy. That was always in place.
That's right.
So,
there was.
HCOB overrules a green on white. Admin, right? Ethics tech admin, right? So, and then after that, it was like the research and discovery, like it was all the executive EDs from original, and then it was like flag orders, and then it was like
CBOs.
Yeah, it was like, yeah, exactly.
WDCOs, FOs.
Right.
I know,
I'm just kidding.
No, keep doing it. I like hearing you snort.
No, and I also, was like, it's insane how many that you guys sound like aliens are way too cool for your guy for the Sino language you guys were using, but you guys are actually saying real things. That's what I want like people to know. Like when they're saying the HGOPL, FO38, FB, like these are real. These are policy letters. These are so like I want us to hear ourselves also speaking this way. Like this is this is how we have to explain it. And this is right when you're in that planet of Scientology. This is the language you're speaking. This is very normal. That's what I try to get through.
Right. Well, I think it's different if you decide to go there and talk about it in a way that's like healing,
I love it. I love it.
Or if you go there in a way that is like just robotic.
No,
like for me, I choose to go back. And when like I don't speak the language very often, but it's my first language. And I feel like I'd have to
part of talking,
deaden
like
half
even
my
hearing
how I
is
grew up,
healing.
Yeah. So
knowledge reports, these things that shouldn't be. All these
just
were
the mindset.
These were the way
right?
This is the way, and the whole mind. No, every breath we took, every way we lived, everything we thought. When we thought we were doing something bad, or we thought that we were doing something too creative, it became out of valence. You're not in your right valence. You're not in your right behavior. You're not acting a certain way. What is going on? You know what I mean? Like, so in when you guys, I was just listening, going like, yep. And then I was like, this is hilarious. Like, I'm sure to some people going like, what the fuck are they talking about? You guys are all talking about these things from CST, and yeah, but the like, you're using words that people are like, this is alien language, but I love it, but I get it, but to us, it's normal. And it's so, thank you all for listening, because it's so nice for us to be able to say it. And a lot of you have caught up on this. You do know what, KSW is, or Keeping Scientology Work. You do know what Knowledge Report is. They do know. They've been listening to enough of our stories to know it. So it's kind of like, hey, if you just jumped into freaking Harry Potter, it would be interesting. You might listen to it, but you're not going to immediately understand all the things they're talking about right away if they've been talking about it for a few hours or whatever. So we've been doing it, we've been doing good at this SBTV stuff.
We just got an answer to your question.
Yeah, I know. I want to bring it up.
Did you see that?
Yeah, I popped it up, but I didn't want to interrupt you were saying, because it was really good. Wait, I want to first just tell you what first Jeff said about this. Cine was started on the ship as the photo shoot org.
And then he gives another.
What ship? The Apollo? I wonder. Right? I'm assuming, right? Is it the Apollo, Jeffrey? Can you answer that really quick? Thank you, sweetie pie. Was that the question you were saying, or was it something else?
Yeah, he elaborated a little bit more. He said when they went to flag, they turned it into something, and then when they went to gold, they finally turned it.
Oh, was it this one here? What was helpful to me was right. Oh, nope. Sorry, Jeff. That was an early one.
It was just, he just made it. I just went over that.
Oh, it's in the live, not, okay, yeah, sorry. My bad. Yes, Apollo. He said yes, Apollo, by the way. And then the one before that, what did you say? Oh, right here.
Right up, yeah. There you
go. When we went to Clearwater, the photo shoot org was, that was started on the ship, became Source Productions.
That's right. Yes.
And that's so weird. And started making films in addition to still shots. Later in LA, it became gold.
Tech film. That's an tech film. Source Production.
I got a screen. Sorry guys, I have got to take a picture of this answer. This has just made me want to ask 500 million questions more for Jeffy. Right? So I'll do that when Jeff jumps in on the next one. Our sweet angel pie. Thank you, Jeff. Yeah, wow. I want to read that. Sorry, one more time. When we went to Clearwater, the photo shoot org, that was Cine. That's what it was called. That was started on the ship, became Source Productions. Oh, and started making films in addition to still shots. Ooh, we're moving from still shots to video or movies. No, film. Later in LA, it became gold. Okay, good. Thank you, Jeff. Mr. Hawkins, you sweet angel baby. Thank you.
And yes, Free Xenu Project. I think for me, you did get the sense that everybody got in trouble. Like it was, it wasn't just you. Everybody was assigned conditions. You'd be doing a liability formula 1 week and people are signing yours, and then the next week you're signing theirs. Yeah. And it's sort of, so it was always like, you welcome them to the group, and then you just got in the group and you can get them back in the group. So it was really like Lord of the Flies is not really far off. Except for there's one policy. There's like one person.
Would you also agree that it kind of normalized all the behavior? It normalized if somebody went out to eat, it normalized, oh, they did that. Okay, they're going to the RPF. It just was like, oh, so-and-so is this. Like, you would know if you touched a boobie, boop, doop, doop, you're going to the RPF. Like,
well, I don't know about, did anybody else, like, we used to, on the way back and forth to birthing, we would like go, God, are we suppressive? Like, we would question ourselves. Like, if we were like, was that a surprise? Yeah, were we out too deep? Did we, was that heavy petting?
I didn't. Am I justifying what I did? Crazy. Did I touch her tit, or was it just a side boob?
Yeah, well, it was, with both people being like, my girlfriend is an HCL, so we were both.
Was my intention going down the leg to make him hard?
Right.
For sure.
I'm thinking yes.
I was like, ooh, I know he's hard. I am
And then you're
so
like,
excited.
is
I would
that
just look away like,
that
what are you
out to
going to
D?
do? I
No,
can't
no,
touch
no,
that.
it's not out to
Not
D.
allowed to touch it.
Was that heavy petting?
Didn't see it. Yeah, was that out to D? Was it out to D that I saw he had a boner?
Well, because then that was the whole thing. If you
Yeah, oh,
both
yeah.
decided it
That was
wasn't
really
out to D, then nobody would write a report. But if it was questionable, you could leave that encounter and wonder, like, should I write one? Are they gonna write
And if you
one?
don't, then
And if you don't, and they do, you're screwed. You're like
then you might get
completely
married.
screwed, right? Then
Then
you
you
either
might
have to
get
get married, or you have to
Yep.
deal with the conditions. It's
No, you
terrible.
just no, but or that, and you would think, wow, I have a connection to this person. Like we're kind of on the same
Right?
level.
We didn't write each other up.
Yeah, we didn't fucking send fucking
Right.
knowledge reports on each other. We possibly might have done this.
Yeah, things that should not.
I usually
If
got mine
somebody
off in
did
session
what?
Yeah, but see,
and then
those are
got
worse.
KR'd for it.
Right. Session
Wait.
KRs were the worst.
Wait, you would get them off in the session. Yeah, but
Yeah,
when
the,
else
the
would we?
withholds.
We're not
Any
right.
sec
Like
check,
touching
like
a
even
butt or
rudes,
something,
like the
you know, with my
rudiments.
girlfriend.
Right. You wouldn't make it through your rudiments. You
No,
didn't
but
Yeah,
look
you
like
wouldn't
a
even
ton
make
of
it through
Not only
session
that-
KRs. Terrible.
Not only that, and especially Louis. Louis on all these tech lines, so he's definitely getting sec
Yeah,
check or not sec check, but
nonstop.
like
Well,
meter checked
cramming
here, needle
rudes.
here, needle here. What's this
Right.
dirty needle?
I'm not auditing you.
Yeah, this is not a session.
That means
I am
I'm
not
getting
auditing.
ethics.
Nothing is
Oh,
a session.
God.
I have news for
I-
you.
Wait, didn't you feel a little uncomfortable when they did say this is not a session? You're like,
Yes.
oh God, they can use this against
Have I
me
missed
for
a withhold?
sure. Have I missed a withhold?
Is there
the
an
next thing.
overt? You're just like, but what? No, what? You
That's a
mean the
withhold,
L2D?
then.
I mean the not heavy petting. We decided that wasn't heavy petting. You know, you're just like, shit. Damn it.
Oh my
They
God.
changed the definitions.
Honestly, the
question-
worst as a boy was like masturbation. That was the worst. That was like, and they didn't have
I
any good
can't.
references. It was
I can't
terrible.
with that.
They're like
If I was
science is
a boy,
survival.
I'm curious
Lord.
on that one. You
Ooh,
said
if I
there's
was
no
a boy,
good
I'd do it.
references. Were you looking
Yeah, it's
for a
handbook
book
for
that
preachers.
showed you how to masturbate?
No, on the ethics handling is what I mean.
Chapter
so for the
13.
session cares.
Wait. No joke. I think for some reason, maybe I'm wrong. My psychologist will let me know. But for some reason, I feel that it was definitely harder on the boys to give up that they were masturbating than the girls for some reason. Am I wrong?
You
Or
got in
does
so
that
much
seem-
trouble. Like you got in so
We
much
got in-
trouble.
The guys,
and then
the guys
usually
You're
hot
saying
girls
you.
would be
Is
like,
the guys or the
I'd
girls?
like to go over these session KRs, and you're just like, no.
Well, I did
don't
do a
wanna do
lot
that.
of sec checking,
Uh-huh.
and I would say that it was a
Wait,
lot more
but
the guys.
wait, Louis, before we jump there, didn't the question of masturbating kind of come up? Has a little bit missed or anything kind of before auditing? So what do you mean? Sec checking. Sec checking is auditing. They would just throw the question in there instead of like before you go in auditing, like before you do auditing, you have to do your rudiments, which is
Right.
has a little been missed. So if you masturbated that morning, you're gonna be like, well, I'm not supposed to masturbate.
Unless you
and
can
I
come up with
masturbated."
something else.
Unless
that
you're
was-
like, wow, my needle's floating. Probably
That
because I'm
happened to me
masturbating.
exactly one time that I got in trouble. And then from then on, I figured out I could come up with something else. There
Yep,
was
think
something
about
else I could
something
come
else.
up with.
Right,
that was my
like,
overt. Like, oh, I took
Yes,
the yogurt from the fridge. Oh,
exactly.
I feel better.
Me
You
too.
know?
Yeah.
It's like,
So sec
and then they're like,
checking,
don't take yogurt.
I'm using it loosely, sec checking, because in all auditing, you're sec checking eventually. You're going to be leading to a source of withholds and overts that you can pull from the pre-clears case. So so I'm just using sec checking loosely, but yes, in the auditing part, the confessionals for sure. I don't remember where I was going with the first part of the answer question.
Well, they're really a lot more intense on you being sessionable or like well rested, well fed. If you're actually getting counseling, or their form of therapy or whatever they're trying to do. But when you're getting like sec checked or you're in an ethics action, like it's not, you don't have to be sessionable so much. You just have to be basically semi-coherent.
Yeah, because I can tell you
Wait,
there's many
unless-
times that I was getting a sec check and I probably got like an hour of sleep and zero
Right.
food.
Oh,
and-
yeah.
Grab the cans. We don't give a shit.
Wait, guys. That's when they say this is not a session.
I'm not
That
auditing
is when
you.
they say this.
Exactly.
I am
How do you
not
think I
auditing you.
got? How do you think I got staff members, Sea Org members, through the Underground Railroad of Louis Repetto to the outside world? Was, it didn't matter if they were sessional. I would just make the meter move when they did the Matab, and
Yeah.
then I would just get them in the
Yeah.
session, get
Oh
them
my
through the
God.
sec
Wait,
tech as fast as
pause for the
possible, and get
pause
them
for the
out.
people
I know
pause for the
people probably have
people
never heard of
listening
that.
because Matab I have not heard in
I
1,000 years.
know, right? Me
Wait,
too.
guys,
Oh,
pause.
really?
Matab.
That's crazy.
You just made me realize though, Matab. So in order to get a sec
Metabolize
check,
it.
okay, so in order to not quote unquote go into your religious auditing and tell all your sins and get away with it, they do this other thing called security checking, which is the same exact technique as auditing. They just say, we're not auditing you. So that legally now we realize, oh, they can just say this wasn't pre-printing confidential information. It doesn't apply to the religious side of things because we weren't auditing. This is what he just told us on his own, or she just told us on their own fruition as a Scientologist using Scientology. So then they make the whole thing a religious thing. But what in this religious thing, normally you think, oh, I can tell everything. I should feel completely at ease and comfortable to say anything bad that I've ever done or thinking so that we can address it and get it really cleaned and fixed. Right. But this is the point where they can say, yes, you need to feel that way as well. You need to feel that you can tell me everything, but this is not an auditing session, but I'll know if you're lying either way. So you're still under the same laws and the same restrictions and the same mental abuse, feeling like you have to stay in a room under your will. You don't want to, but they call it a sec check instead of. And then so what I didn't hear in so long, what the heck did you just say?
Matab.
So the same way that you can't go in session unless you've been well fed. So this is like public auditing. Public come in and get auditing. They pay money. This is where the laundering is, by the way. They pay money to go in session to receive auditing from a Sea Org member or a highly trained Scientologist
400
auditor.
an hour.
It's approximately, literally, it's no joke. It adds up to being about 400 an hour. And that's if you don't get a fancy auditor because she's young enough and cute enough and you just want her again because you were able to tell her everything.
Or higher
All
trained
the
auditor.
essays,
Like I
all
was
the
I was
or
an
I never
agent.
got to have that
like
experience.
Natalie Galbiotti. She was, do you know
Ooh.
her? She was like this young, high trained, hot little cute
She's
girl.
probably like 1,100 an hour.
That's what I'm saying. It's no
It's
joke. They were
oh,
literally
man, I just
telling
thought
John
about
Travolta
that.
and
It
stuff
sounds
like,
so
"Hey, well, if
weird.
you really liked her," and some people just liked her because she
Huh.
was so sweet and so easy to just talk to, and she did help them or whatever, right? So
Yeah.
either way, if you wanted her and they knew you had the money, oh, for
Yeah.
her, then we have to charge more. So this is definitely a trafficking. People need to wake up to this. This is how
Yeah.
they launder. This is how they clean their money. They make it a religion and they make what they're doing religious protected. But what they're doing is completely illegal and completely inhumane. And it's stealing people's lives and killing them and murdering them without physically doing it to the body. It's the equivalent of doing that. Sorry.
It's like corrosive persuasion. It's like taking
Yeah.
somebody's natural moral fabric, which is to help, and then
Thinking and
using that
feeling and
button
figuring
to
out.
corrosively persuade them into a whole different mindset, thinking they're still trying to save and make the world a better place. And I think when you grow up with it, you're kind of you don't really ever think through it or to question it. It's just something that is like, of course this is workable. Look at my family. Look at, in your you grow up with this network and it's so normalized, or you're in the orgs or you're in the missions, and it's something that the lingo's even, you hear in social circles, all your social group, you go to events, you go to, announcements, it's all that reinforcement. So when you're in it, you just normalize it. Of course, this is the workable technology. So you'll do anything to continue it. You don't even, until you start to see some of the cracks, and then you have to pay attention and really start to think, and like, it's hard. That's where a lot of us fall into shades of gray, is like, is it worth it to me to destroy my social network? For a lot of people, it's not. For
Yeah.
my father,
Or
it
they're
was
not only their social network, it's financial, it's family,
right.
it's heritage,
Exactly.
and it's just like I love my mom. My mom she's never like attacked me personally. I'm not talking about me. I'm talking about other people I know that are under the
What's
radar
your
that are
mom's name?
totally out. Diane Anderson. But so like other people that are under the radar
Diana Anderson.
definitely are like
It's hard. It's a hard thing, and it's
Do you
it's
have a
so
brother?
overwhelming, because it's that you don't know what's going to happen. Like, what it could be, and a lot of times we've been told that the worst is what's going to happen. So
all
we
the
work in
time.
this catastrophic kind of like thought process of like, oh my God, this is going to kill. Well, it's like OT3 as a kid. You won't look at, I remember looking at newspapers that had it in it and was like, oh my God, if I open that up, I'm going to die. Like,
Yeah.
I will die. Like, I will get.
It did take me about 6 months to type in on Google
Right. Even after you
OT3.
leave.
I was like, I
Right.
can't do it. Like, and then I saw my heart fucking popped out of my fucking chest when I finally press enter and press on the Google search, and L. Ron Hubbard's writing. Like I was like, oh my God. Oh my
Right.
God. It's
Wow. That's
there.
crazy.
Like when I saw
Now, what'd you think?
I just saw a paragraph of the writing. It took me forever to actually go back to that to finally read it. Just so you know. So
Right.
imagine all that. Like I was like, they really don't look at the internet. Don't. If whatever you type in, it's gonna show you what it is.
So I was
And
in
so,
libraries.
oh
I
my
was
God.
like and I
Wait, can I
wouldn't
just
read.
answer this
Yeah.
really,
Go ahead.
really quick? This question, Free Xenu Project. So legally, they cannot say you can't use this in court. A sec check is not religious protected. Wrong. Anything Scientology does is religiously protected.
Well, and all that
Scientology.
goes into your PC folder is not
Anything.
they'll just
What
write
I was
session
getting to
KRs.
exactly what I was getting to is that the people in Scientology paying lots of money, public paying lots of money for auditing hours, are doing this under the disguise, thinking this is an auditing session because they
Yeah.
don't realize this is a legal issue. They don't realize this is. They just think anything under the umbrella, which they're right, anything under the umbrella of Scientology is protected under a religious status currently. Correct. So yeah, no. Good job for thinking hard and strong, but everything that is Scientology is
Yeah,
under and
unfortunately,
protected
that's
by
not a
Scientology.
loophole.
Okay, sorry, keep going, Dylan. I did not mean to cut you off on such
Well,
an
I
important
hate to cut you off, Dylan. I do
No worries. Yeah.
I do have to
Liz.
head to my
Liz.
missus.
Just kidding. We love you, Liz, and we loved having you on. We loved having you on because we love your authenticity, your questions. You've been in this, you know this, and you're not somebody who's not going to say how it is. Who's
True.
not going to not say it how it is.
Hold on, before I leave, because this one
Go.
question's been stuck on my head forever.
Can you tell me who it is? What? Where?
It's by Mischief.
Okay, hold on.
So
I'll find it right here. Go ahead. No.
Let me just read it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I heard someone refer to the blue as a luxurious
Oh, wait.
building.
Yeah, I do have this question. Sorry. I already have this up. I just didn't know that
Yeah,
that's what you were
not.
getting at. No, and it's not a mother. That made me annoyed and mad, but I'm not at the person who asked it. But right here,
Yeah.
Question. I heard someone refer to blue, which is AOLA, the big blue buildings, Astro Foundation, whatever the F they want to call it, as a luxury building. Is it? Oh, I don't know where, please, who told you that?
If you like cockroaches on your face.
Right. It was nasty. That place was awful. I lived in
Well,
Lebanon Hall
actually,
for a while.
the renovations, I was supposed to be slated to like clean the marble because in Asho Day, they were slated to have marble put in like everywhere. So maybe that's the rumor that Scientology is spreading around. It's so fucking luxurious.
Yeah, but the staff berthing would
Yeah, but
never
you
be
can't get rid of the
redone.
rat fecal matter. I'm just letting you
Yeah.
all know.
No,
It's
but
there.
Oh yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Main building.
I'm wondering if they just made it kind of look good on the outside. That's the only way I
They
can
probably just
like.
redid Asho to call it ideal.
Yeah,
Yeah, they
there's
did. They
Yeah,
redid
there's
because
no
that.
realistically,
Right.
you can
and
Call it
cover.
also what?
ideal.
Wait, what do
Exactly.
you mean mischief by like luxury? Luxury for who? Not even the Scientologists are the
Yeah,
public
no
are
one
luxury.
stays there.
No, there's no
There's
like
no hotel there.
luxury about it. It's very intense and very get your TRs and here's your course and no talking and study and 2 hour and here's your 15-minute break and back and like it's not luxury. There's nothing luxurious about these big blue buildings, even if there was something sort of comfortable. Like there's nothing,
Yeah.
right? Try to tell me
Well,
something luxurious
how
about
big
this
of
blue building.
a hot
The
water heater
canteen?
do you think
Is
they
the
had?
canteen? The
Right.
canteen is luxurious.
And we had to
What?
shower like we were on the ship. Like that's what's
30
so
seconds,
funny,
1
right?
minute hot
Like
water
you
runs
don't-
out.
it's a
And there's
hospital.
8
They
other
must have
people
like
after you that are your
right.
friends that are gonna hate you if you fucking use up their water time.
Yeah, if you cover fresh dog doo doo with a Christmas bow, it does make the dog doo doo luxurious,
Right.
but it's still gonna smell.
Yeah.
My birthing was called pig's birthing. That's how bad it was.
Ooh, pigs birthing.
You're a little
Yeah, they ripped our
piggy.
door off, and they made
Right.
us like
I
40
know.
people in there with like 4 bunks high, and we had
They
like no
just
carpet. It was industrial. The security, they put meat inside our room and hid it in order to make the room smell. Huck and I found it. It was so nasty.
That makes me so annoyed
Ew.
hearing that.
Well,
That's-
love you all, Laura. I love you. Talk
Yes.
soon.
Love
Thank
you
you
too,
both.
Liz.
It was nice meeting you. Lewis, it was nice
Everybody
meeting you
say
again.
bye to chat. Everybody give Liz a round of applause as usual.
Shake, 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 shake,
Yeah.
shake. Shake
High
your
five,
penguin.
Liz.
Shake
All
your
right, thank you so
titties.
much.
Not gonna work.
Other way, Lou.
No, like
Oh.
this way.
Bye. Thank you. Oh,
Bye,
sorry.
thank
I'll
you.
let you go. Love you, Liz. Thank you.
Love you too.
Ciao. Okay, Ruby takes. I love Liz. What a good little energy connector. Everybody says, bye, Liz. We love you. Okay, so going back to I wanted to jump when we're I wanted to just answer this also. Sorry, I know we already had this up, but when you were on the ranch, did any of you kids ever get the sense that even the ones in charge got in trouble from higher ups? It wasn't really like for example, if you were children and the adults at the ranch got in trouble, you wouldn't realize it until they were gone for a while. Like nobody notified the children, so and so is leaving. They would just be like, you would just see them on a pro. Anyways, so I was gonna say there's no sense. Basically what I was getting to this. It says when you were when you were on the ranch, did any of you kids ever get this sense? No, we already knew. We already knew if you're not on post, you fucked up. If you didn't show up for your job, you're in ethics trouble, or you're doing something where you could hear somebody, oh, they're excused, they're doing an ethics program or whatever it is. And we're saluting, report, who's here. There's no sense, there's no choice. The moment, going back to what Dylan said, the moment that you start to question on your own accord is when you're out ethics, is when you're like, oh, I need to put my ethics in. Now I'm starting to sidetrack. Now I'm getting out of valence. Now I have other fish to fry. Now you know what I mean? Like, so yeah, I hate to like put it that far in perspective. Like, no, there was no sense ever. And it also wasn't on our minds or attention. And why the hell is a cadet wondering what the heck somebody else is doing on another post or not? That's nobody's business. It's not, if you're not an HO and I just want
Well, even in the cadet org, they had
true.
ICs and they had like an org board and all that. So that's probably also part of it, is that even the cadet orgs had it, even in the EPF.
They call it the CO, right?
Right. Well, exactly. Yeah. Even in the EPF, like Liz was the EPF in charge, and she was a Sea Org member. But then in the EPF, which is the Estates Project Force, there would be people that were like in charge for the day, or kind of the master at arms or whatever. So yeah, you had that responsibility. It's a great way to control people, basically.
And it's also a great way to groom younger spirits, younger children who literally have not had any experience of the world, have no choices. You're just plopping them into, here's your bubble. This is all you're going to know. And then when you're 13 or 14, when we see you're starting to masturbate and get a little hard, we're going to send you out to a public organization, because now we know you obviously, if you have time to do that, you have time to audit and sex check people on this. It's just so gross. So
Right.
Scientology is a whole grooming machine, either to pull people's, kind of disgusting sins and like disgusting behaviors, and or to uh I hate to use this word, but to suppress people, literally suppress them to only being allowed to be open and free in these forms, in these
Right.
bars, in these ways. Like, why isn't Scientology illegal? This is so insane. And then they
Well-
attack people who open and expose them. Okay, sorry, Dylan. Please be my therapist.
So no, Mandy was saying, Mandy McGee was saying that the question, legally they cannot say you can't use use it in court. A sec check is not religious protected.
Yeah.
Well, the way they
Reading from-
do it, and that's even with the sec checks, they put the sec checks in the PC folders, which is the pre-clear folder. So those are the ones protected. And then when they do the sec checks, they write what are called session KRs or knowledge reports, and those go into the ethics folders. And then that's what's actionable. So the PC folders are always kept in like they're very careful about how they treat them, because that's their fail safe. As far as, you can't just go in and look at PC folders, they're protected by religious, and that was one of the reasons why they wanted to get into this whole church religious thing, is to protect a lot of these crimes and a lot of the crap that goes on. But because in these sec checks is when people admit stuff that they did, and that's blackmail, that's leverage, and so the session KRs are more actionable to keep you kind of in the mindset. You're assigned conditions.
But you're also giving it up on your own. You're getting, again, your own. This is for, they're telling
Yes
you this
and
is for your
no,
own
right?
benefit. Kind
Right.
of. They're lying because you're doing Scientology. You're thinking, I can't go in session if my ethics are out. I cannot. I literally, I can't be committing PT, present time overts, or the tech won't work on me. That's one of L. Ron Hubbard's policies. He literally says, if the ethics is out, the tech won't work. So if the tech's not working, guess what they do? They go and sec check you. They say,
Well,
what are you doing?
First-
Do you masturbate?
So they call your folders, right? They go through all of your past actions, and then they come up with like a tailor-made solution. And if it's a sec check, they come up with specific questions that have to do with your case.
And have a 40-year-old Russian or Hungarian
Right.
guy
Well, yeah,
who you
whoever.
don't know at all in front of a 15-year-old girl, 16-year-old girl that wants to leave the Sea Org, saying, do you masturbate?
Well, it was the same thing. Like, I remember 46, 50 something year old auditors at Flag giving nervouses to 14-year-old messengers. It's like creepy and weird.
Again, the grooming
it's
of
the
making
tech,
it
so
reasonable, like being
Right.
rash. Well, we're not bodies. We're young. We're not children, and we're
Right,
not
right.
bodies. I'm just fixing the body. The child is just helping this elderly fix his body.
Yeah, I don't
It's
really
so
know
fucking
what's
manipulative. It's so deep and
Yeah.
manipulative. Like, who would do this to their own? Who would allow this to their own children? Who would watch and allow an organization or a system to literally every day be in your child's life doing this to them every day, and then they are trained to do this to other people? Who allows this? Okay, I'm going to answer that. You know who allows this? People who are criminals who literally try to get
Scientology
away
criminals.
with at home abuse, trying to, abuse your wife into staying at the house, or trying to abuse your husband into mind control games where they're gonna, you know what I mean? Like, this is the disgust that, like, it goes to that. It goes to, like, this is the people who do that. They're trying to mentally interrupt your life so that when you read something like a basic conversation that was stolen from, natural psychotherapy, or just regular healing of human bodies is now called Scientology. You're starting to think like, oh, well, maybe this is right. It sounds right. Like, it pisses me off so much. Even a nervous cyst, like, that naturally does get the blood going, right? It does help I actually help people. I definitely do not do 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. But, like, I massage and I help heal people who are sick, literally, physically, who are, like, on their bed, like,
So you do
dead, like,
body comms and stuff?
I
Just
do
kidding.
touch assist, I do nervous assist, I do body calm. Feel my finger.
Locationals. Yay. Um,
No, but so it really annoys me very much that I've realized. I guess it's because I've also just kind of learned this, like, over the last 7 months, that every policy, every auditing, every sec check, everything that is, the policies or the technology of Scientology is either black magic, manipulative, mental healing, or stolen information from, like ritual, like, literally from, like, healing, and so people, yes, get attached to it and they go, oh, well, this
And the
helps
body
me.
thetans for sure. He's definitely stolen that.
well, that's not even what gets people in. I mean, that's what, like, the basis and intro of
Of releasing the
Scientology.
spirits. Sorry, Dylan, I was
Well,
No,
you've
it,
seen like all the
the BTs, like, releasing, no, that's what I mean, like,
the
releasing
spirit with
this
all the
negativity, like, that's not you.
no, like the ghosts. Like people believe in ghosts and stuff and talking to ghosts, and the dead and calling these. That's all like the body
BTs, right?
thetans.
That's what you're saying. That's what I'm
Yeah,
saying.
yeah,
That's what
it's
I'm
the body.
saying, like, so but to
He's
put that
stolen it.
pressure on somebody on any level under the age of 21, to me, is insane. For them to think that I'm either auditing these or these overts I'm doing is not me, and especially made up overts, like stealing from the canteen, compared to, like, masturbating. They kind of just, like, all of it's overts, they're all overts. It's like, so you're literally telling me what part of natural life is overt and wrong, and some of it could be wrong, and some of it is actually totally natural. And so you see, like, how do you not plan to make somebody so fucking insane from all this? How does somebody not grow up as a child not mentally insane from this?
it's kind of the after product of
I don't know.
greed, right? I mean, that's so when you start and you base a religion off of like a book like Big League Sales,
Oh.
that's really kind of your problem. And then you add in the whole therapy part. So your goal is to find somebody's ruin, right? And have different points like that. That's what the Oxford
The
capacity
seven
analysis is
steps.
for.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Is to like find where are you weak in your relationship and your money and whatever. Keeping
What's ruining you?
being stable. Right, exactly. And then find some goals and dreams. And I remember doing it as a kid, like going in as a kid and getting people. So, oh, hey, you like this? Oh, you have a problem talking to people? Oh, we can help you with that. Oh, what kind of, and then you just start going and you get the person saying yes. You get them agreeing. You get them saying, you push their help button. I mean, this is all stuff you're taught. That's how you get people. That's how you disseminate Scientology. We can help you with that. You find their problem, and then Scientology has a solution. And then hard sell. Once you get somebody saying yes, then it's like, well, wouldn't you want to do anything you could to help somebody else? And what are they going to say? No. Well, do you think that's worth $50? Is it worth $20 for a Dianetics book in case it saved your life? Or what if your friend that has this, he could buy one too, because you can't give it to him because that's out of exchange. You have to have him buy it because then he wants it. And it's just that whole medicine man sales spiel that never ends. Your goal is to make the sale and you'll say anything to do it. And that's Scientology. It really is. I mean, that's it. Everything else goes into a bunch of weird shit, but it's like a fake self-help thing, a serum that you sell people that you say will fix every. Oh, yeah, that's what ails you. That's what it fixes. So it's kind of it's hard
Exactly.
to.
So I
After that,
never
it's hard to
under.
take it seriously, right? Like it's just I know a useless nomenclature. Thanks, LRH.
How long do you want to keep going with this, Lara?
Yeah, I gotta
We're
get
gonna.
going here pretty
You
quick.
What do you
guys
want
are
to do?
wild chickens. I've been waiting for you to finish nicely. And then I was
Okay.
gonna say, okay, can we just let's be cute to all of us and to the whole world and not keep the chickens awake. Let's go to the start and just there's a few fun things. I really enjoyed that
sure.
conversation. Thank you with you too.
You
Yeah,
too.
me too.
You're wonderful. I love listening to you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah,
Okay,
And
this is
Dylan.
from Anahata on fire. Has anyone on the live had child auditing?
I think everyone has.
Everyone.
Yes.
Yeah. Every single
I
one
would
of us.
be safe saying Liz did too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I concur. Okay, there you go. Who's this? Question. Speaking about therapy, did you saw Aaron
Oh yeah, I
earlier
did.
interview with did you see that? I don't know. I didn't see it.
I
Did I?
listened to it live when I was driving like 4
Okay.
hours today.
I want to try this therapy so much. I recommend everyone here to watch it and buy his book, The Invisible Machine. Okay. So what was that? What did you hear from the live really quick? Was it good? Bad? Did you like it?
It was amazing. It was
Mm.
this guy, Jamie Mustard. He used to be in Scientology. He was born into it, and then he was abused in the 70s, 80s, and then he tells just it's about he separate from that, he's like a writer and he's a researcher, and he just explains how he goes from being born and abused by Scientology to finding how psychiatry and psychology really help people. And he writes books about it, even for children, ones regarding resilience and some other ones. He's a brilliant explainer.
Cool. Check it out.
Oops, sorry. That's cool. Good. Glad. I was gonna
Cool.
say we can go back and watch that episode. That will be interesting. Thank you for showing that to us. Mateo Damayas. Matthew, I think it's Matthew Damayas, but I like to be very dramatic. Mateo. I say
Close.
like Matthew and I say Mateo. So I'm like Mateo Damayas. Okay, that's enough, Lara Anderson. Okay, so then Mandy was here earlier. She went to sleep. We love you, Mandy. She said, we were talking about therapy and like things. She said, I'm currently trying they said I'm currently trying EMDR for my PTSD. I wanted to ask, have you guys done any of that? Have you tried that?
No.
I only listen to birds.
Okay, cute.
I'm for the bird.
Maybe
The
you try
pedos for
it.
the birds.
Serge, a bunch of my friends, Serge has tried it, loved it.
Nice.
And I have never tried it. That would be really fun. But yeah, that will be interesting.
I
it
don't know
would
what
be
that is. What is that? Does anyone know
It was
briefly?
something like while you're like you have your they have you have like your focus with a pen or something on and while you're talking about something. I don't know. I'm totally
Interesting.
just
I'll look it up. I'll
yeah,
look it
yeah.
up.
Look it up. I'm sure it's very freaking popular. But yeah, I love that she put that they put that as the Oh, and this is for you, Louie. This is about your gloves earlier. I would be happy to make him a pair. This is from Sandy Powers, who
Aw,
makes
that's
me
so
all my
sweet.
goldenrod things. Need an address, literally. Cutie patootie. So, do you want to email me your address privately,
Yeah,
or
I'll
they
message
can,
you.
or Sandy can send it to me to give to you? No,
I'll
because
text you.
yeah, just yeah. Okay, good,
I'll remind you.
cute.
It's all good.
And
I'll
then
remember.
okay,
Thank you.
And then Jeff Hawkins said, what was helpful to me with his therapy was writing my book. He said, getting all my thoughts down. I also had a therapist who was a cult survivor herself. That was for people who healing when you leave Scientology, blah, blah, blah.
It
Okay,
says,
and then this cute one, Lara is a goddess. Thank you, my sweet
Yeah.
angel. Hey, thank you
Yeah,
for your
you are.
$2 super chat. And is it Angales Froderick? I don't know, but thank you. Okay, love you guys. We're gonna jump on any last little things. Right here. Question. I am in no way making excuses, believing they are spiritual beings and their children aren't really their children. Is this the rationalization in allowing this to happen to their children? Of course, right? Did you guys get that?
yeah, you are not. I mean, you're not your meat body. Was what I was told as a kid. You're a spiritual being that's lived, thousands or hundreds of thousands of lifetimes. So the fact that you have these parents in this life is just kind of inconsequential. Like, I mean, that was the weird thing. It's like weird then celebrating holidays. You're like, oh yeah, I guess we still do that, right? But we're not like, I don't know. So it's convenient. It's all part of the brainwashing.
To me, it was also the holiday thing. It also reminded me like, oh, like it was a mixture. It was like the reasonableness grooming of like, oh, well, if we have to keep the PR in,
Right. No, absolutely.
the
That's so
PR
true.
in for the building and the organization. If it's Christmas time,
Mhm.
it's better PR to get people in. We're
Right.
relating to the
Celebrate
religion.
absolutely.
So
Yeah,
then
that's so
somehow
true.
that might have trickled into our dinner, at the
Right. Well, and once
CB
they
or
realize, they'll be like, "Oh, how silly I was to fall for that stupid
yeah.
engram trap." And you
Yeah.
saved me. You saved me with the tech. Yay! It's like,
Yeah, we're just being what is that way to happiness? Respect the religious beliefs of others.
that's right.
We're
Right.
just yeah.
You can practice
Those
another
idiots.
religion
Fine.
in
Yeah.
Scientology.
We'll
You can be a
celebrate
practicing Catholic and a Scientology. It's like,
Easter.
yeah, right.
Yeah. In fact, that's
Right.
how they get people in. You can be a this and still be a
Mhm.
Scientologist. That's how they got a lot of the
Which is
Persians and the
hard
Jews that I used
sell,
to go
right?
and yeah, so crazy in
Get them in the
Glendale. We would do
door. Get them
dynamic
saying
seminars.
yes.
Oh, this is Mandy replying to our eye movement. So
Oh,
EMDR is eye movement desensitization
I
and
gotcha.
reprocessing. Whoa, interesting.
Oh, I've never tried it.
Yeah, I definitely never have,
Mm-mm-mm.
but I've
I wanna
definitely
try
had
it.
people who have tried it and they really loved it. It was very interesting. Like how they were even explaining it, like it would just like keep them on the yeah, wow.
Remember like OTTR0 where you'd start to or like
Kind of.
or TR0 where you'd like start to hallucinate and you're like eyes open so long and you're sitting there, you're just like
You're
everything
like,
turns just
I think I am fucking insane.
yeah. OTTR0 I felt like I was in a dreamland so often. 2 hours
Oh
of
my
that.
god, totally. That's what it is. Like like I can't help but relate EMDR and all these
Right.
like
That's what I thought too. It's like,
it's
it's like
literally like,
TRs.
oh, this is what like a
But
part of
good TRs.
Scientology was stolen. All of
Right.
Scientology was stolen from a part of stuff that actually heals and helps people, and they just took it to benefit themselves and make it their technology. And oh, now we took so when we're doing TRs and these gross routines that we've been doing our whole lives, they're actually psychologically messing up our psyche every single time we're doing them.
Right.
So imagine we're so lucky to be alive. People ask us why like no, we're so happy to be alive and enjoy the silliest, most amazing things of life. Like that's my thing. Anyway, so there you go.
Exactly.
You guys
You
you
said
guys
it,
can
goddess.
y'all can research all that.
Bam.
Bam. All right.
Yeah.
So on that note, my little sweet angel babies, thank you all for watching. Thank you, cutie pies, for being here on the LFM TV hotline. We love you so much. Dylan, thank you so much. Louie, thank you so much. Thank you, Liz.
Thank
And
you.
we're gonna do this again for
Thanks.
sure. Hello, Marie J. We are leaving. Somebody just said, "Hello, Laura." Like they just answered, "Hi, sweetie. We're leaving, honey." Okay. We'll do this again. This was so fun. Let's keep being authentic, real talk, and uncomfortably cool.
Yeah,
and
let's do
grow
real
from it.
talk part 2 and really talk.
This time, let's really talk. Enough with the authenticity. Let's real talk.
Right.
Okay.
Let's talk crap about crap.
I'm ready to do that whenever you guys are.
Sounds good. Thanks so much, you guys.
Okay, love you guys. Thank you in the chats. We love you. Come a bit. We will see you soon. Until then.
Somebody is searching for the right child. Somebody is telling you what's right. Now you're going to have to decide what you're gonna do the next step you take.